Holy shit! Dude, that's 37 armor. 37 armor.
Professional stream. Professional stream.
Oh, what's that light up ahead? I don't know why. I can do something to stop it. That's Emily.
Oh, it sounds like you.
Wow, I keep getting the white stuff all over me. Don't even. I know what you're thinking, don't. My last period was today. My last period today was study hall. Totally misread that, to be honest. Oh my god. Is this a thing? No, yeah, the audio was all messed up. I'm not sure how that happened, but I'll just stop it. How's everyone doing? Hello, thanks for coming by. I see a lot of you in chat coming at the beginning here. It means a lot to me to have that energy right at the start, and thinking of just a chill stream. I wanted to do some D&D writing. I was actually thinking of doing Subnautica because of all the naval themes to it, and it seemed like a cool creative survival game. But talking with some people about D&D so much, it's made me want to just do some writing. You know what? I run Mimswell.com, and it gets it does really well. I'm really proud of the developments it's done, but I haven't shared that process on stream, so I figured why not do that. And what I plan on doing today is writing about clarifying Counterspell. So I'm going to try and think of ways to break it and then try and write an article on how to kind of judge that. Because it's very easy, while it's very easy to just say it's the DM's job to just rule it, often people do a Google search to try and get an answer and use that to kind of arbitrate what's going to go on in the session. And believe it or not, I have a few articles that provide that for people. So I am very proud to be in a position to write these articles for D&D 5th edition and get on the front page of Google indexing. So let me know how the music is, and we'll just chill out here and start with some Counterspell. So here's what I got so far. So yeah, tonight I'm looking at clarifying Counterspell. I'm going to look at class updates from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And then I think I'm going to start the article, Best Druid Spells. And it doesn't fit with D&D, right? What kind of music do you think would fit? You probably can see Pretzel here. What should I go with? Stations. Would be good. This is a little too upbeat, right? Maybe lo-fi? Actual lo-fi? Let's try this. It's so quiet for me. Fantasy tavern music? Yeah, it's kind of, maybe it's this little too chill. I don't know. You say fantasy tavern music, maybe I should pull that up. I'll let that sit for now. So yeah, I'm trying to come up with clarifying Counterspell. So what this article is meant to do is when people have questions about Counterspell, they will Google it. And they'll look up things like, the top one I saw here is, can you counterspell a counterspell? And this article is intended to kind of fit that search so that when people look that up, they're going to get the answer I put here. And I tried to collect so many other questions that I've thought of and that I found that people get for Counterspell. And a lot of them are pretty easy. You know, this article may not be too big. I don't expect to spend too much time on this one. So if you got ideas on how to try and break Counterspell, let me know. So let me take a look through here. Can you counterspell a counterspell? Yes, this can be changed so long as casters involved haven't already used their reactions. You could potentially have a dozen spellcasters counterspelling each other in an epic battle to fight over an original spell being cast. Yeah, the constant back and forth of counterspelling certainly does work and does go by the rules. And I think that's something that people forget a lot about, is that reactions are part of Counterspell, and action economy matters for everything. You know, if you've already used a reaction, that means to do Counterspell, someone else can still pull that off. And the question that'll come up later is that people want to know, well, how do you beat Counterspell because it's so good? Is there a spell in 5e that nullifies another spell? That nullifies it? Yeah, kind of. I maybe you mean like Dispel magic. Counterspell does kind of do that. I guess it depends what you mean by nullify. I think Dispel magic is what you're thinking. It's kind of the same sort of thing, but it's not reactionary. It's just an action. Let's see. I am in Arabic for some reason. Oops. Let me switch back to English. Yes, I have an Arabic keyboard installed every now and then. Like Dispel magic. Yeah, exactly. Serves Quintilius component from being cast. Yeah, that's a perfect example actually. That is another way of nullifying. And in many ways, disarm is a way of nullifying spell casting too. Okay, you wouldn't be able to use your somatic components if you don't have arms. So, can you counterspell a magical item, status, or object? What other thing? Creature, object, or magical effect? I wonder what people look up when they might look this up. Can you counterspell a magical? Sometimes I'll just Google this to see what the top results are. Can you counterspell a cantrip? I got that. Let's skip that song. A Rakshasa? That's an interesting question too. Can you counterspell innate spell casting? That is definitely one I see come up a lot, and I don't have that in this list. I'm going to put that in here too, and then address it when it comes up. Could Dispel Magic be used in encountering a counterspell on an individual in the act of casting? Aren't they actually channeling that magic whilst casting? I guess because the way the action economy works, it's kind of turn-based, right? It's not very realistic. Like, yeah, in the actual flow of things, you would be dispelling each other. But counterspell, I suppose in my mind, would be a very close variation of Dispel Magic. Like, the two are pretty much the same spell, right? It's just they use a different kind of action. So you wouldn't be able to use Dispel Magic to do it in combat. You know what? Maybe you could make an argument to say, can I cast Dispel Magic outside of combat? No, because it's the counterspell, it says in the process of casting a spell. You attempt to interrupt a creature in the process of it. So that is important to note. Because we're getting very particular with this. That's what this is. We're getting in the roots of this. I don't think you can counterspell magical weapon. For example, like my Sickle of Drewcraft. Exactly. I would lean towards no, only because by that logic you can defeat a wizard by casting Dispel Magic on them. Yeah. But you could cast Counterspell on... Oh god, what was I gonna say? I'm getting that semantic satiation where you say the word so much it loses its meaning. You could cast Dispel to to get rid of an effect on someone. So if they had like enhanceability or haste, you could dispel that. But you wouldn't be able to counterspell it because it's not in the process of being casted. So can you counterspell a magical item, status, or object? I'm gonna type in here no. No, counterspell interrupts the process of casting a spell. Items, status, objects, or creatures already have the spell on them and would need Dispel Magic to be used to nullify it, to nullify their effects. Affects. I think that makes sense. The other interesting thing about these articles is you have to word them in a way that's very concise, because my goal is to have it so if you Googled this question, you would get the snippet right away. So you want it to The first interview went well. The next one's tomorrow. Yes. Good luck, Rio. I trust you'll do well. I'm still up, but finally have cell service again. Lunar is right in there. Lunar, they're always like the most supportive and connecting. Very prompt. Of course you're being there to help someone move. Hey, Laleche. How you doing? Mr. Mim. Laleche, I miss your humor. And I'm talking about D&D today. And I'm writing 3 articles. I'm finishing off this clarifying Counterspell article. Gonna look at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything in their classes. I might not finish that one. There's a lot in there. And I'm gonna start the best Druid spells. And right now I'm wondering, can you counterspell innate spellcasting? And if you're not familiar with D&D, this is kind of like an Uno Reverso spell that if someone starts casting, you interrupt and say no. Could you do that if, say, the person had the ability to just say, think of the Night King from Game of Thrones and how they like summon the undead. Is that casting a spell or is that an ability if it were in 5e? Gonna turn you from Mr. Mim to Mr. Jim with these hammers, yes. Lunar, I love the cozy emote. Innova, hey Innova. Hello, Mim and other friends. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're all doing good. Yeah, Innova, how are you doing, man? Innova is also one of those lovely human beings who the world needs more of. Hear all the work you do and appreciate you. Just writing D&D articles here, and I'm trying to think about how to clarify, can you counterspell innate spell casting? I don't think you could use this Uno Reverso spell on innate. I'm alright trying to wind down before having to do someone's driveway tomorrow. So I thought your stream was the right way to go. Hey, Leche, well, that's kind of you to come by to just hang out. You're doing someone's driveway. What kind of work are you doing on it? Is it, I think you were, last year told me you were doing, was it landscaping? The biggest issue I have with Counterspell is that the player will only use it when they know what the other character is casting. And I have a slight uber nerd issue with that. Yeah, that's the thing with games and RPGs when they are doing spellcasting is, could other characters know just by watching what kind of spell they're doing? Like, do they invoke words that you think others, and move their hands in certain ways that you think others would recognize? The most notable one I can think of is Burning Hands, right? Like when someone does Burning Hands, I always see them do this. This is Burning Hands, right? Thumbs together, pinkies out, Burning Hands. I don't know, I'm curious if anyone else has that. But unless you had something like that, like how would you know what spell is being cast? Is that a thing in your world? Would you make it a thing? Or is spell casting personal? You know, these are interesting choices to make for your world building. From the boxing, yeah, I got hooked on the nose and I haven't stopped bleeding, so I have a tampon shoved up my nose. Hey, those will do the job for that. Holy crap, Rio, are you okay? I know noses are kind of easy to wreck, but I hope you're all right. I'm sorting out some general maintenance like cleaning and other stuff. Oh, okay. That sounds not so bad, Laleche. That's a nice, easy job, right? I do Burning Hands with a pyramid and pinkies out. Pyramid, so like pyramid, pinkies out, like this, like Dragon Ball Z TN. Is that what you mean? I just thought it was both hands out. Okay. See, everyone has their own way. So maybe spellcasting wouldn't be so telegraphed. You would have to personalize it in some way, right? Like if you were to cast Burning Hands, how would you put your hands? I feel like I might do something like this. Yeah, it's easy enough, man. But anyways, how are you? Well, actually, I'm all right. It's kind of chill. I just thought it would be interesting to try doing D&D and just mostly just hanging out and chatting with you guys too. No, like palms out, thumb and index finger in a pyramid, and also pinkies extended. Oh wait, palms out, like this, pinkies extended. They're all extended. I don't know. I think I'm doing it wrong. What kind of articles? Hey, Root of all beers. I'm trying to write out clarifying Counterspell. I'm going to look at some class updates from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And then I'm going to start best Druid spells. So right now, we're talking about Counterspell and all the ways that you could maybe break it. You know when people Google questions like, can you Counterspell? That's what this article is meant to do. Collect all that information in one space. And right now I'm wondering, Root of All Beers, tell me what you think. Can you Counterspell innate spellcasting? I think most people would say no, unless the spell says you cast a spell-like effect. Right? I think it gets very particular with the words in this. Liu Kang Fireball style? What? Yeah, of course. I love Liu Kang. So I'm about to make an ass of myself. Hey, what happened to the crappy encounter? I just changed it all into one encounter now, La Leche. Keep the middle two fingers curled out. Then you have it. But like you said, everyone different. It's 750 short encounter. Yeah, I changed it. Oh no, Leche. I'm gonna tell Miss Min that Jeep is teaching you game science. What was I gonna do? Bloods here or something? Yeah. What's the definition for innate? Yeah, Root of All Beers. That's a good question, isn't it? Because innate would be like, geez, what are some good abilities? You know what, Root of All Beers? You're making me think a good thing to do would to pull up an example. I'm gonna pull up the Rakshasa because I think that one is a very popular choice to have issues with Counterspell. So innate spellcasting. So see here, innate spellcasting. The Rakshasa's innate spellcasting gives them these spells listed here. I think for these spells, it would be an easy yes. You can counter these spells, right? Because these are just the spells you have listed anywhere else. But let's see, what's another good example? What's a good example? I'm gonna pull up the Lich. I think that is another good one to contrast that to. In fact, I might as well just stay on the Lich, actually. Lich. So, for Lich, it just says spellcasting, not innate spellcasting. And then the other thing is, Lich has paralyzing touch and frightening gaze. And I've heard people say that these abilities, paralyzing touch, frightening gaze, and disrupt life, that they're like spells. They're spell-like effects. Even though, if you read the description, there's nothing in there here that says spell, except for melee spell attack. And it's that one word, spell, that makes people think that it should be able to be counterspelled. So there's some room for debate here. And I'm inclined to say that spell casting and innate try some Destiny 2. Hey, Innova, that I hear a lot of people have fun with that, and that's a good fun game to grind and chill out with, so have a good time. Let us know how it goes. Innate spellcasting. A monster with the innate spellcasting ability. A monster with the innate ability to cast spells has the innate spellcasting special trait. Unless noted otherwise, an innate spell of first level or higher is always cast at its lowest possible level and can't be cast at a higher level. That makes it a little easier to do from the DM side. If a monster has a cantrip where its level matters and no level is given, use the monster's challenge rating. Okay. An innate spell can have special rules or restrictions. For example, a drow mage can innately cast the levitate spell, but the spell has the self-only restriction, which means that the spell affects only the drow. A monster's innate spells can't be swapped out with other spells. If a monster's innate spells don't require attack rolls, no attack bonus is given for them. See, it's still... I guess the important question then would be, what is innate spellcasting versus spellcasting, right? A monster with spellcasting class feature has a spellcaster level and spell slots, which it uses... Okay, so that's really the difference here. Innate, let's see. Yeah, so if you look at Rakshasa here, the innate spellcasting has the number per day per spell. So they can cast once per day, dominate person, fly, so on and so on. It's not spell slots listed here. And if you look at the Lich, it will list slots for each level. So a question people have is, can innate ones be dispelled? I'm definitely inclined to say yes. You just mentioned something that annoys me. Innate spells by the monsters. Like a drow caster has levitate, but that same drow as a PC doesn't have that. Wait, what do you mean? I thought drow, like if you go by, let's say the player's handbook drow, their innate ability is levitate. So I'm inclined to write in this, can you counterspell innate spell casting? Yes. And you'll always want to be concise with these for the sake of these snippets. Although the spell is not using a spell slot as levels to try and fight against higher level spells. Yeah, definitely. And the best part about that is I didn't even consider in the back and forth that you have to remember, if I'm like thinking I want to make sure Wish doesn't happen, 9th level Counterspell, haha, I did it. They would also have to do 9th level Counterspell to counterspell your Counterspell. This is where we're at with this. Okay, so what does the Monsters Manual call those abilities and actions that they have? Let's see here. Actions. Oh my god, Mim, that's offensive. The hardest thing for Rio is I don't know when he's serious and that I'm actually being offensive and my white man is showing, or if he's just trolling me to get a reaction out of me. Let's see here. Limited usages. What I'm looking for here is the monster abilities that sound magical, but that may not actually be magical. So let me go back to that Lich, so you know what I mean. And you guys let me know how you would rule this, because I've had this come up. The Lich casts Paralyzing Touch on you. I cast Counterspell. Does it work? The action does say make a spell attack. It's a spell then, isn't it? No, you can't counterspell higher level spells, but if the counterspell level is lowered, there's a dice check to see if it passes. Yeah, you're talking about pretty much the Arcana check, right? You can counterspell. Yeah. I think we're aligned on that then. But do you think, how would you rule this? The Lich casts Paralyzing Touch. I counterspell. It says make spell attack. Does it work? I'm kind of inclined to say no. This isn't casting a spell. It's an attack. Going off the player's handbook, Drow have a +1 charisma. They have 120 feet dark vision. They know Dancing Lights cantrip, 3rd level Fairy Fire, 5th level Darkness, but nothing about Levitate. Wait, where is that coming from? I swear... Is it not Drow that get Levitate? Is it just Genasi? No, Drow get Levitate. Drizzt levitated all the time. Is it just under Elves? It's just under Elves, isn't it? Elves. Subrace. Let's see. Drow. Dark Elf Drow. Where... What? Wait. Did they remove it? What? So the Drow in the Monster Manual has different abilities than you making the same Drow as a PC. More inconsistencies. What? Spell attack is still a spell, just like a critical hit is an auto hit. So, root of all beers, if someone casts Counterspell on the Lich doing Paralyzing Touch, do you think you would allow it to stop it? These are the interesting questions we get into in the particulars here, right? It's like we're doing the after session debating. And yeah, I really thought that Drow got Levitate as even the player character race. And did Rio educate me? I had you going pretty good on Among Us Night a few times. Rio, you did a couple times, actually. Is Paralyzing Touch a cast or a melee action? It says melee spell attack. So there's not actual casting going on. Yeah, you just have to determine the spell level of the attack. See, that's the interesting thing here, is to determine the spell level, the Lich in this case, it's using spell casting, not even innate. So there is no level being used here. There's no spell slot being used here. You would have to make it up. And what would that be? And you know, the truth is, in most games, if you, as the DM, thought it's a fun idea to do Counterspell to that because maybe it makes sense for whatever reason in that context, then yeah, rule it that way, and probably keep it consistent from there. At this point, though, I'm not sure. I would imagine it'd be like Chalet. Okay, yeah, so like a cantrip. So you think maybe immediately... You know what? This is a tough one. I'm not really sure how to call this. My DM hat says that you can't counterspell that because it's not a cast spell. It's essentially a melee attack and the after effect of that. Yeah, I see what I can see like both ways because I'm leaning a little more to saying no, you can't, but I see what Root of All Beers is saying in that it is still a spell attack, and just like Chalet is also a spell attack, right? And other spells feel more spell-like, like Green Flame Blade. That is, I think, has more magic around to it. Well, maybe not. I don't know, compared to a Lich. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I don't know how to rule this one. I don't know if I'll include this in the article because there isn't a definite answer, is there? Melee spell attack. I wonder if I just... Let's see what we get when we Google this. Can you counter spell? Sometimes you gotta do this yourself. If I'm writing an article on it. Are spell attacks spells? Let's see what the first result is in Reddit. Oh, good old Reddit. Nope. Let's see, is this Crawford? Okay, so we got some sage advice. So if you don't know, Jeremy Crawford is like the rules lawyer judge of it all. I would make it DM's discretion. I agree. I think we agree on that. Counterspell foils spells. Amongst Radiant Sunbolt isn't a spell, so no counterspell has no effect on it. So I think Radiant Sunbolt here is kind of the equivalent to our Paralyzing Touch here. But maybe not, because I don't think Radiant Sunbolt... This is a bad example, I think. Let's see here. See, this person mentions the Lich. Skyrim is the best D&D game. You know what? Actually, Skyrim is like, if someone wanted a D&D experience, I probably would go. I would send them there. It is a spell attack, but it's also a melee attack. Think about this: if you counterspell that, what else can the Lich do in combat? Well, if you're the DM and you're the Lich, and your only option left is Paralyzing Touch, you're in a bad way already. So they still, yeah, I see what you mean. Like, what other options do they have? But that isn't the concern here. Like, ideally, they still have other options that you, as a DM, could give them a staff to smack people with, or they just make a fist and make an attack. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one, I would have to say, comes down to DM discretion. But I think I'm going to conclude this. How am I going to word this is going to be the challenging part. Thank you, Root of All Beers, for prompting an interesting question. Can you counter spell? Let's see, what would I call it? Melee or ranged spell attacks? Oh no, that's not clear enough, is it? That's not clear enough, because if someone Googled that, they would just think it's a spell, a normal spell. Can you summon the Dark Magician or Yoda in this game? Heck yeah, you can go summon anything. Dark Magician. If Mongolian G can't find a diamond for a stack of Raider flags, I could cover his poverty. Are you really that low on diamonds? Oh no. Yes, the 11th strength Lich is going to make a punch and I do 1 point of damage. I mean, it's there. I would have the players recognize, do an arcana check to see if they can. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Root of All Beers. It's use the Arcana check, and then if they succeed, well. Hey, Urban Artifact, how you doing? I'm just writing some articles here. It's good timing. How has your work been doing? Let me know about your content creation. Urban Artifact and I have talked. It's been a little while since we've done so, but I'm getting back into it. So, and I'm inviting everyone to come on here. This is my first time doing this, so thank you guys for coming by to help this out and ask the interesting questions. You know what? Do you think if I don't include that question, that it would kind of default to DM discretion? And thank you again, Urban Artifact. the question we were asking is, if something like Lich casts Paralyzing Touch that makes a melee spell attack, could that be counterspelled? And I'm feeling an impasse on it. What? Cheesy Plays? How you doing, Cheesy Plays? It was cool hanging out with you just earlier. I was just hanging out with Cheesy Plays before stream. He was my my hype. And by my hype, I really mean my zen moment. We're chilling out. And Jeef, if you're up for it, you can shout out some, or do some shout outs. I was sad about the game. Did you finish it? It didn't seem like you were near the end, but that game, it seemed very story driven and very thematic on that character's pain and travel. Let's see what... Oh, what? The Hammond plays?
I bopped off Anna, bro.
Game did not register me
Let's
picking
go.
up the
I
game. What?
bopped off
No.
Anna. Let's go. My first bop. Had enough of you, Sombra.
The first bop? I love that map so much for the knockouts. I haven't played Overwatch in a while. Yeah, the shoutouts.
Who can
Oh.
this be? Oh.
Rio Bravo does
Okay.
a lot of good sports games.
Oh. Okay.
Listen to that
91
old
overall
mic.
Shaq. We'll
See?
take that.
The new mic is
We'll
so
take that.
good.
Big man Shaq, you know. Big man.
You're excited for Overwatch 2? I'm really excited to see what the PvE is going to be like. It feels like it's been a lot of debate around it and a lot of caution. But I'm thinking if it's anything like the other games we've seen so far in PvE, it'll be good. Oh, no audio? There it is. It's quiet. I've... Go away, Tammy. No one wants you, Tammy. Counterspell Tammy.
But yeah, what I was saying earlier before we were in the
Lunar also does D&D prep lately, and also was doing Detroit Become Human, and Life is Strange for a little bit there, and a variety of games. Lunar, I hope you do some more D&D prep too. It's been cool to do this and just kind of hang out, chat D&D. Man, this whole Counterspell thing would be a straight argument if we were on a call right now. An argument? Okay, well, what else? What other questions can you think of to come up with Counterspell? What I have here so far. Can you Counterspell Counterspell? Can you Counterspell magic items? Can you Counterspell yourself? Can you Counterspell cantrips? Can you Counterspell abilities? How do you beat Counterspell? What cannot be Counterspelled? Can you Counterspell a magical item, status, or object? Can you Counterspell innate spell casting? And can you Counterspell creatures with magic immunity? Which was a very interesting question. I feel passionately about this. I'm not sure which one you mean. Which point? Let me know. It'd be interesting to debate it. It feels like the one up here. Can you Counterspell magic items? If the item specifies a spell being cast, I'm going to change that to present tense. Then yes. That's the unusual thing with D&D, right? Is everything's in present tense. It's not past. I think we got this. You cannot counterspell an innate ability. Okay, not the innate ability, but the innate spell casting. I think you can. Like, hang on, let me find the example. Who was I using? Root of Albeers and I were just talking about it. I think it was the Rakshasa. Let me show you. I think you'll see what I mean. I think you'll agree once I show you the real difference in the writing. Okay, so innate spellcasting here, it's still listing the spells as they are normally. So fly here is still just the fly spell. The only difference here between spellcasting is that they can use this once a day, not use a spell slot. Whereas the Lich has spell casting, and okay, they don't have fly, but they would use a slot to cast it, right? This is kind of particular, but yeah. Did you see the police pepper sprayed a bunch of people and 8-year-old kids at the Champions League final? People are pissed and Paris PD is saying, we thought they were security threats. That is horrible. And this was in France? If you cast anti-magic field and someone counterspells you, which one wins? Oh boy, what? Does the anti-magic field automatically make all magic, even a counterspell, not work? Ooh, let's see. So let me go back to spells. Because I kind of want to look at... Which one? Anti-magic field. Because counterspell is for casting. The process of casting. And if you were seeing it being cast, so casting time, 1 action, and you're saying if you cast it and someone counterspells you, I think you could still counterspell it, because if, say I'm the DM and you're the player, and I say Bob the mage is casting anti-magic field, you could interrupt and say I counterspell. Bob the mage hasn't finished casting it. You're interrupting it to stop it. If anti-magic field was up already and you were outside the range, then I think you could do dispel magic on it. Being casted counter wins. Post cast anti wins. Yeah, I agree with Root of All Beers. Yeah, I think the only way you could fight it then would be to dispel magic, unless look down here. Never mind. I stand corrected. Spells and magical effects such as dispel magic have no effect on the sphere. So, never mind. Your only chance would be counterspell while it's being cast. Otherwise, it's up. That's interesting. I never thought of that. I'm going off the Lich example, but the other creature you use works the same. I will not let a player use counterspell on an innate ability of a creature or legendary action. Oh, yeah, okay, Jeef. I think I agree with you on that most of the time. Let me see. Let me go back to the article. Yeah. Or here. This here. I think Root of All Beers, Jeef, and I we're representing different sides of this, and I think it will come down to DM discretion, which I do have at the bottom of the article. I'm kind of leaning 60-40. That usually I don't know. It's kind of like a cantrip. Paralyzing Touch is really just a cantrip. So I can see why it might work. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to leave that to... that one I don't know if it really has a rule, even by Crawford. The rule was for Radiant Soul, and that's not really a melee spell attack, is it? Yeah, every major network news people got sprayed too. Like, people are pissed at Paris FIFA and UEFA. What? That's crazy. What, Rio? What kind of amends do you think they'll have to make? I just like to think of these things. Yeah, Urban Artifact. That's what we're doing here, is trying to think of anything else to add here to Counterspell. On this article I'm writing about clarifying it. It does kind of reach a limit and then starts becoming very particular with spells. So I'm trying to think of the most common questions you might think of with Counterspell for this article, and then I'll move on to the next one. There's dude with the clear BBC press conference take a baton stick to the face. I gotta find it on Twitter and DM it too. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Or put in Discord. Which, by the way, in the Discord right now, we're having the giveaway for Neo Complete Edition. And then every Monday I try and do giveaways. And I keep failing to mention this, but I do have a partnership with Humble Bundle, which is this charity. You've probably heard of them somewhere. But you can buy games from them, support charity. They have a lot of good deals, and in the process you can get codes. Jeremy Crawford says you can counter anti-magic field with Counterspell. Just fun ideas, yeah. I feel that it can be counterspelled if you cast it at the same time, but if it's already up the no. Yeah, I agree, Lunar, yeah. Reason being, let's say a group of adventurers are at a point where they are fighting a lich. That is an epic moment for D&D. You are essentially fighting a lower-tiered god. You have 3 mages that just cast Counterspell on it over and over, and then the melee fighters waiting on the lich. How legendary is that? Yeah. Counterspell, another reaction spell. Counterspell, a Featherfall cast. Yeah, see, I really want to see this happen, a kind of constant Uno Reverso of it. Alright, so let me see. What are the other common questions that come up with Counterspell? I think I've got them all, but I'm just going to see what the autofill gets. Counterspell. We get. Oh yeah, there's a lot of other games that will have it, won't they? I think I may have gotten the most common questions around it. Can you counterspell? Counterspell, yep. And this is what I'm aiming for, by the way, because I have gotten Mimswell into these snippets, so I'm trying to also collect them for myself and for these searches. And I think we got it. Like, I find when I'm at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, it's probably done. I could probably move on to the next article. How do you get Counterspell as a bard? Why would you? You just get, yeah, you just use the magical secrets ability. What an interesting question that people ask that commonly. Can you counterspell legendary action? There it is. There it is. I don't. I sat at a table that had 2 casters shooting counterspells at the BBG. It was more annoying than anything, and that was me as a player. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. I was running an Adventurers League game where the players were jerks to the NPC. And the whole game, and when the cleric healed an ally, the NPC counterspelled it, so I as DM counterspelled them healing. Everyone seems to forget to counterspell that. Right? Exactly. I don't know. And the other thing, Urban Artifacts, is what we were saying earlier, and Root of All Beers reminded me of this, that if you cast counterspell at a higher level, you have to remember that someone counterspelling your counterspell also has to cast that at a higher level. So there's layers to this. And eventually the only limit is really just the reaction. Can you twin counterspell? That is interesting. I never thought of that. How would you ever have the opportunity to twin counterspell in a turn-based action economy? I feel like this question is so rare that I don't think I'm going to include it. Like, can you think of an example of a time that twinning counterspell would be like, how often would that come up? I guess not often. A lot of these aren't too often, right? That's interesting. I never thought. Does counterspell waste a spell slot? Of course it does. Of course it does. All right. I think I'm good with these questions. I'm pretty satisfied with this. And now I'm wondering, should I move on to... I think I'm going to move on to best Druid spells. So I'm going to save this draft. And you guys are going to see my real rough notes. But this is how I start things. Best Druid spells. I'm right here in Google Drive. And these are my rough notes. This is how I'm starting the article. Not even on the website yet or anything. What are the best Druid spells? Can you ready an action to cast Counterspell, allowing you to twin it on the fly as a sorcerer? I don't know, man. Most of these, I just rule on the fly. That's a really good point. Can I hold my action to twin Counterspell? No, because you would still have to wait for one creature to start casting. I guess that's the unfortunate thing with the action economy, is that it's 1 by 1. It's turn-based, right? So even though the group of enemies might be casting spells at the same time, it's still one after another. I feel like if I were the DM, I'd probably allow it because it's such a creative use of the spell, especially if they're holding their action to do it. I just don't know if it would really come up. I put it up on your Discord. It's like a 12-minute report on it from the Sky Reports UK, so watch on your free time. Okay, well, yeah, I'll do that either after stream or in the morning with my coffee. That's interesting, Rio. I didn't know of these events. You can, but only against another sorcerer that's twinning a spell. Ah. Root of All Beers makes a good point. Maybe you could counter twin if someone else is twinning their spell. That's so interesting. That's so cool. Can you imagine that? Like Bob the Mage twins their Eldritch Blast and fires at those 2 commoners that you're trying to protect. You can only save one of them, and then you as the player are like, well, yeah, well, I twin Counterspell to block both of them. That's clever. Root of All Beers, I like you. That's good thinking. That's interesting. I agree, Urban Artifact. That's clever. I like that. All right. That's genius. I'm going to remember that. That's amazing. Just imagine that scenario would be epic on its own for it to come up. Alright, so I'm going to get the list of Druid spells here. And start thinking on what are the best Druid spells. I'll save that. So Druid spells. So I'm going to go level by level. And the first one I'm looking at here is cantrips. And I only briefly started this. There's a lot to go through here. So what I'm trying to do here with this article is, imagine someone just started playing D&D for the first time and they want to play a Druid. This article is aimed at giving a very basic suggestion to someone just starting off. So often I'll see players, they don't want to think too much about what to pick yet. They kind of just want an easy go-to. Attack, defense, utility. Just give me one of those and I'll start playing right away. That's what this article is for. And it seems to do well for that. I get a lot of search results from this. So when I'm thinking cantrips, I'm thinking what is a really good attack, defense, and utility. And Druids, I don't know how much defense they have. They have a lot of utility. And they do have a decent amount of attack in here too. But defense, I don't know. By the time the caster would be counterspelling, the Eldritch Blast probably isn't being twinned, as it can target more than one creature. Oh my god, that's so true, right? It would... Our Eldritch Blast also splits off... Okay, that's a bad example. Firebolt. If Bob the Mage casts Firebolt and twins it. Oh my god. You guys are good. This is why D&D is so amazing. Urban Artifact's like, wait, no, because it splits. So yeah, that makes sense. And watch, Rudolbeer is going to have a Uno Reverso for you too. Well, if someone is wanting to play D&D for the first time, I would do literally anything I can to dissuade them from playing Druid. Yeah, Rio, I want to be a Druid. I played D&D once and I was a murder hobo. Barkskin in 5e is bad, sadly. Yeah, I haven't seen it get a good enough buff. I'll take a look at it in a moment. Let's see. So the first ones I picked, and I'm trying to keep this to 4, 3, and 2 throughout these levels. Just whatever feels right, you know, because most of the time, people aren't going to be worried about past level 3. So really, past level 3, this is for experienced players usually. You know, new people probably aren't going to be looking here, but sometimes I think people look there just to kind of be like, what should I pick? What's a good idea? Yeah, whatever, I'll go with that. I mean, I do sometimes. So for cantrips, I picked Primal Savagery, Shape Water, Druidcraft, that's a contentious one I know, and Guidance. I suspect many people will agree with Primal Savagery, though Chalet is still really good. But let me see. So thinking attack. What's the best attack cantrip for Druids? What do we got here? Got Control Flames, which I don't think this is the one you can throw. I think that's Produce Flames. But you do have Create Bonfire. Create Bonfire, you're basically just summoning a bonfire beneath someone's feet. And then they have to, what is it, save? Or, yeah, Dexterity save. Or they'll take the damage. You can counterspell it because you interrupt the cast before the spell takes effect, so the multi-hit. Yeah, you did it. Rudolph, you make a good point. Eldritch Blast doesn't split until the casting is complete. So yeah, you would still be able to do it. Acid Spray. Is Acid Spray a Druid? I'm not seeing it in the list. Let me pull up the full spell list and get Acid Spray. Okay. Oh wait, Acid Splash, I think you mean. Let's see. Because I thought that was Druid as well. I guess not. Sorcerer, Wizard, Artificer. Huh. Yes, you can counter. I was just talking about 20 in general. Nightbot. Nightbot is contrary. Ignore Nightbot. Okay, so I like Acid Spray. Acid Splash is Sorcerer, Wizard, Artificer. Create Bonfire. I don't know that I would say that this is the best attack. So 1d8 Dex save. Ice Knife is probably the best Druid. But that's level 1 Ice Knife, isn't it? Yeah, Ice Knife is level 1. What about cantrips? Yeah, you mean first level. Yeah, okay. I'm going to put that in my notes so I don't forget. Detect my... Because I don't think I have one here. No, I don't. Ice Knife. I'll put that there to come back to. I like you, but I have to point this out. You are pronouncing chalet incorrectly. You are leaving off the last syllable. Shillelagh. Oh, that's the Canadian in me. Forgive me, shillelagh. Twinning speed, you up so you can cast 2 spell in 6 seconds. Twinning speed you up so you cast... Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. So that would do it. So that would still do it. Well, stop being so Canadian. I'll try my best. Alright, so I'm just going to lower... No, I'll leave the filters off. So create bonfire. It's Dex save D8. Dex is pretty common. I do love bonfire. Everyone usually wants some sort of way to create light. And I think that one's pretty decent. Okay, I should be back. Just reconnected. I think I'm back. I think you all can hear me now, right? He's probably still here, but if I don't see him, he doesn't exist. It's causing existential panic. No, sorry guys. I think stream just burped. I don't know. Let's see what the error says. It just gave me adverts instead. Never mind. Yeah, he's probably still... Thanks guys for sticking around through a bump like that. I was just comparing Create Bonfire to Infestation. It seemed to fix your audio desync. Oh, okay, well cool. So it did a favor. Thunderclap. Thunderclap, isn't that also... Oh, it is a cantrip. Okay, so Thunderclap. I do like thunder damage. That is a good one. And this is con save for a d6. I think this is... The only downside is that it can be heard 100 feet away, but Create Bonfire also sets everything on fire. And this is each creature within range of you. I think I agree. I think Thunderclap is better than Create Bonfire. The hard one to compare to will be Primal Savagery, but I'm saving that. What about Thorn Whip? Thorn Whip versus Thunderclap, what's better? I'm going to go one by one and keep comparing them until we get to a good one. Oh yeah, Infestation is good too because I don't think it's classed as forced movement. Oh yeah, well it does say in it, doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. I was thinking the same thing. I think we were both thinking if it did that, that would be amazing. If it still gave opportunity attacks, but it says it doesn't. So I think that does kind of bring it down to me to say Thunderclap's a little better. But what about compared to Thorn Whip? This is piercing damage. If the attack hits, the creature takes 1d6. And if larger or smaller, you pull the creature 10 feet closer. I don't know if I'd say this... Thorn Whip versus Thunderclap? This is one creature. Thunderclap is potentially... 3, 6, 7... This is potentially 8 creatures if you were completely surrounded. I mean, it's not likely, but the thing is, it can do that. Thunderclap can disperse completely around you. So I kind of think Thunderclap for a new player. Remember, what would you suggest to a new player? I might say Thunderclap. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I'm going to say Thunderclap and move on. Thorn Whip is good because you combo it with other spells. Yeah, you could, couldn't you? What kind of spells are you thinking to combo it with? Let me think. What else would you combo it with? Make a melee attack spell. I don't know, those are tough. What about Shillelagh? Jeep is gonna kill me. This is where you're changing your quarterstaff so that it's magical and does magical bludgeoning. And then instead of strength, you're using... Wait. Yeah, and you can use your spellcasting ability instead of strength. And then it becomes D8. I don't know if... I'd say this is better than either Thorn Whip or Thunderwave. It is a bonus action, which is nice. But... No, I don't think it's better than the other two. Fun fact for you, Thunderclap was my stripper name. Oh my god. The Thunderclaps. I remember something with a thorny terrain spell. Thorn Whip is good because... Yeah, oh, thorny terrain. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to keep in mind. Dog going in the garbage. Okay, so I'm going to bump out Shillelagh and produce flame. Fire damage, again, that's a pretty common one to be resistant to, but I don't know, it's still pretty good. It's fun. It's fire. Fire's fun. Fire's fun. Oh my god, I'm gonna get quoted for that. So this is where you get your light, because a lot of new players want to be able to just summon fire, and you can attack with it. 30 feet, D8. This is pretty straightforward. I think a lot of new players would like this. Shillelagh at will magic damage that does 1d8 plus mod is good as a fighter. That's a good spell. Ah, yeah, true. Root of all beers. Yeah, let me know what you find. I'm curious what it is. Is it Wall of Thorns? Yeah. Are you thinking Wall of Thorns? Oh man, this is tough. To bring this all down to one suggestion, what one offensive cantrip would you suggest? So you got to think, what is the most like diverse one? Diverse? Yeah. I don't know about Thorn Whip. I don't know if it's diverse. Thunderclap I think most could use. Oh no, this is tough. I'm arguing with myself on each pick. And I think the last two I have are Poison Spray and Primal Savagery. And I originally picked Primal Savagery just based off my gut. Poison Spray, again, it's poison. So many things are resistant and immune to it that I don't know if I'd even count this. But the D12 damage, the highest potentially damaging dice, that is a bit of a trade-off. I have seen this spell do a lot of damage at higher levels. Like 3d12 at 11th level as a cantrip, that's pretty good. I'd say Thorn Whip, it's nature themed, but then again, Druids aren't supposed to be the fighters of the group, so focusing on the most meta attack spell isn't necessary. Yeah. I see what you mean. Like, it is in theme. So, let me think. Yeah. Think you have a brand new player, and they say, what one offensive cantrip should I pick? Thunderclap is good. Produce Flame is good. And finally, Primal Savagery. It's acid. I think that's pretty uncommon to be... I have to look at a table to compare, but I think this is a pretty safe bet. And your Growing Claws, this could be your Wolverine moment if you really wanted to. And you're making an attack that does 1d10 acid damage. So it's not quite as much as Poison Spray. And it's melee. That's pretty good. Oh, it's like melee or range is kind of what it feels like. Let's pretend they'll be wild shaping. Shillelagh isn't going to be helpful, but a bear thunderclapping is better. Why use Shillelagh when wild shaped? They can use thunderclap for AoE. Nightbot. I guess you're thinking higher levels when you can actually cast the spells through your shape, right? Because I don't think you can... I can't remember what level that's at. It takes a little while to get there. I mean, yeah, because the AoE of Thunderclap is so good. And you're thinking strategically. And I'm thinking for a brand new player. And like, for example, D&D... very short encounter, Rio Bravo. Okay, Rio. You find yourself in a forest. It is dense and thick with brush and an overcropping of trees that are all filled with lush green life. There's flora and fauna around you, little bits of fireflies and birds moving through the brushes nearby, and you are resting in the middle of a grove. There is a small little area with a campfire in the middle where the embers are just sparking a little bit, trails of smoke going up, and a few logs nearby. There's an old man smoking a pipe there, just on one that he carved out of a wooden log nearby. He's got long, scraggly green hair. It's green, just like a sloth's hair. And he's wearing just furs and various kinds of pelts. And he offers you the pipe. Want to smoke, boy? What do you say? I'm getting my games mixed up. I thought druids could cast it through wild shape at earlier levels. Might be. I think I'm thinking about 13th. Oh, 13 age. 13 age, that's a good one. Let's see. Let's see. What? While we find out what Rio does with the old man druid. What level is it that they can cast through? Actually, I think I could tell by the table. Timeless body. Druid. Wild shape improvement? No, I think that's just being able to fly. Oh, which one is it? Beast spells, 18th level. I'm pretty sure that's this. Yeah, 18th level. That's actually higher than I thought. I thought it was earlier than that. Yeah, you're right. You guessed it too. I thought it was much earlier. Okay, so a brand new player is playing Druid. They want an offensive cantrip. Do you go? I feel like Thunderclap. So here's the thing I'm thinking. When a new player starts, I kind of want them to be able to roll the dice to get that feeling. And the saving throw takes that away. So this is the kind of thinking I think about when I have a new player at the table. And if I'm going to suggest a spell to them, although this, if they're anxious, if they're not sure what to do, then I would suggest this spell, because then they don't have to worry about it. I can do the rolls as a DM. Coming out sometime this weekend, my next video is the new Spelljammer classes and spells. Hey, do you mind, Urban Artifact, could you... I'm going to make you VIP so you can just link. Do you want to drop a link to your YouTube in chat? Urban Artifact has also written an article on Mimswell. He did... The last one we did was D&D themed exercises. It was great. It's still on the site there too. Produce Flame, I think, is good because the player's going to roll that dice. I think I'm coming down to Produce Flame and Primal Savagery. If you were a first-time player, which spell would be more fun? Growing claws like an animal or summoning flames? I think this is why... Am I just coming down the same path I did when I first looked at this? Because I hear what you're saying. Thunderclap, if the player was strategic and they liked strategy, I would tell them Thunderclap, because I know they're going to think about positioning. Hey, Wit. Got you on the tab. Thanks, Wit. Chief, if you're there, you can do a shout out. Otherwise, I will in a moment. Thorn Whip is also good for positioning and crowd control in some ways. And it is also very on theme too. Let's see what we got for Wit.
Not my gumdrop buttons.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them.
Not my gumdrop buttons.
We're gonna get your gumdrops. Wit, thanks for the lurk. And for anyone else who wants to see Dead by Daylight and actually the occasional talk of stocks, although Wit is usually just a very chill place to hang out with. He's who you want to go follow. Dwarven, Berserker, Barbarian, instead of a battle axe, use the claw weapons. That's a good choice too. Well, I think I'm going to leave Primal Savagery for now, and I'll put a description later. Now, what about... I'm ignoring my choices here, because past that, what is the best defense druid spell at a cantrip level? Is there one? Hey everyone, you're all awesome, but I need to get ready for bed as I get before the sun. Oh no! Thank you, Urban Artifact, for dropping the link to your YouTube, guys. check them out. They do really great YouTube videos where they just hang around, talk D&D, and just like we are right now, really, but on YouTube. And it's always there for you to pick up and go and not have to worry about counterspelling counterspells. Have a good rest, Sword Artifact. Thanks for coming by. I quietly check my surroundings for exits and weapons. I'm hesitant, but politely ask him if he's smoking the stickiest of the ickiest devil's lettuce in that pipe. Rio. The old man says, "You're damn right, it's the stickiest and nickiest and..." And he starts coughing up a whole bunch of gobby mucus into his mouth that's bubbling outwards. And he's staring in the eye as it's building out of his mouth, this big disgusting bubble with rippling lines of air in the middle. And he's aiming it towards you. What do you do? And while you decide what to do, defense. Is there a defense cantrip? I don't think there really is. There's no blade ward or anything. And defense cantrips aren't usually too great, are they? I have seen blade ward used very well in desperate times of spell casting tanking. Let's see. Thunderclap, Thorn Whip, Shillelagh, Shape Water. None of these. Resistance, I think, is the best one for defense. Would you, if a new player was starting as a druid, would you suggest resistance to them? It's concentration for a minute. Touch one willing creature, and then once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number roll to one saving throw of its choice. It can roll the die before or after making the saving throw. So for 1 minute of concentration, you get a d4 bonus. It's a cantrip. It's resistance. It's kind of like a little... It's like having Bless. Sort of. I don't know if I would recommend this spell to a new player. If a new player is playing Druid and they wanted a defense spell, it seems like resistance would be the best one. I kick up embers in his eyes, grab a bow and quiver, and sneak behind a tree. You try and sneak behind the tree, and you get away from him as the big bubble that he has growing on his face bursts, and his whole head just starts melting away as there's just nothing but this bloody stump of a person and of a torso. As inner gore just starts bubbling upwards, and his torso just flops over into the embers that you kicked up. There's your short, crappy D&D encounter. You're welcome. Oh my god, finally it's called Spiked Growth. Oh, spiked growth. I see what you're saying now, because you would pull them through it. Now that's smart. I didn't think of that either. That's also a ranger spell, isn't it? Or is that spike growth? Spike growth. Spike growth. Yes. So this is, yeah, it's also ranger. It's and druid. The genie. So is this, when a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 for 2d4 piercing for every 5 feet it travels. That's amazing. Yeah, okay, root of all beers, that is a clever combo. Because it is an opportunity attack. It's just they move on it. And this is only level 2. That's amazing. That is an amazing combo. I agree. I never thought of that. I should just write an article on spell combos. I'm gonna add that to my schedule. Spell combos. Oh, root of all beers. I hope you come back for that one. We'll figure out some spell combos and put them in a list together. So, defensive cantrip for druids. The only one I really got is resistance. And I don't know wind, gust, mold, earth, shape, water, and what's the other one? What's the other one? Oh, control flames, of course. So I watched the Pauly D interview from that meme I posted earlier, and it's exactly what you'd think he'd go. He complained about hair gel and tanning, oil prices, and how he was going to pay his pool boy a living wage now. Paul, but Rio, don't you want that kind of Pauly D money? So Shepherd Druid is the best party healer there is. Oh yeah, Shepherd Druid. Is that the one where you can combo? I think I'm thinking the totem that you could heal from. Oops, I'm in the wrong place entirely. Druid, Shepherd Druid. This is... Why? Oh, it is the totem one. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because which one is it that heals? So for Shepherd Druid, you drop a totem, and it's kind of like... It reminds me a lot of World of Warcraft and dropping totems, right? I don't like songs with lyrics in it, so change that. Bear Spirit. The Bear Spirit grants your allies endurance, so you get temporary hit points. Hawk Spirit, you have advantage on perception. Unicorn, all checks. I thought there was a healing capacity to this. Spirit Totem, Mighty Summoner. What? You learn, speak, read, and... Okay, Sylvan writing, yeah. I thought there was a healing component to this. Am I just missing it? Yeah, imagine having an $11 million net worth and bitching about paying your pool guy instead of letting his family starve. I know, people are... Sometimes income can really distort our views. 6th level. Beasts and Fae that you conjure are more resilient. The creature appears with more hit points. I thought that... Am I looking at the wrong one? Circle the Shepherd. You'll have to let me know what you're thinking, Read of all Beers, because I thought the totem healed, but it doesn't seem to. I might be thinking of something else. Hey, it's Carp the DM. I'm gonna do a shout out for you. I think it's the first time you've come by, Carp the DM. Let's see. Do you have...
Get
yeah,
it,
let's go.
Gotta go.
Yes.
Gotta go. Okay. Massive. I don't think I fuck with this thing. I think we
No.
just gotta go. No, God.
Just run.
Damn, that hurts so bad. Ow.
No, you got it. Hope you're doing well, brother. Yeah, Carp the DM. Doing pretty well here. How are you? For anyone who doesn't know, Carp the DM was also doing D&D prep.
In the name of the Hades is...
Well, it was of Hades. The name of Hades. You did great map work. And yeah, if you guys like map design and talking about voice work and Elden Ring, Carp the DM is fantastic for that. And EJ. How's it going, EJ? EJ, one of my favorite variety streamers. You're doing more than just chatting, I'm certain.
Hello?
Hi.
He's coming in.
Oh no. EJ playing horror games is the best.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, EJ, you're gonna jump here, aren't you? I can feel it coming. Yeah. Oh, you're still alive. What the heck? What game is this? This looks crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, thanks for Carp DM for coming to see the game with Gary. It was a lot of fun. I'm wondering if Carp DM, if you're going to do games on stream. And yeah, EJ, I've been good. I've decided to try doing some article writing on stream and meeting new people like Root of All Beers here and hanging out. Unicorn Spirit them and Healer's Spirit spell. Heal spell one of the beast heal burst you can craft. Let's see. Unicorn. The Unicorn Spirit lends its protection to those nearby. You and your allies gain advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures in the Spirit's aura. In addition, if you cast a spell using a spell slot that restores hit points to any creature inside or outside the aura, each creature of your choice in the aura also regains hit points equal to your Druid level. I see. Okay. And combine that with Healing Spirit. Wait, what's the Healing Spirit under? But yeah, I can see how you would use your summons to cascade that healing. So what I'm doing right now, for anyone joining in, is I'm writing out an article for the best Druid spells. And this isn't for like the strategic mind. This is usually I find when I've looked up the back end of this, this is people who are just starting off D&D and want to know what are the best ones I should pick. Just get me started. And which ones should they pick right off the bat? I try and pick attack, defense, and utility. And I went with Primal Savagery. That was really hard to pick. And then Resistance for defense, because there's like no defense spells. And if a player really wants a defense one, I guess it's that. Spell, it's one of the Druid spell? Wait, what? I must have missed. Oh, Healing Spirit spell. Gotcha, okay. Healing Spirit. Here we go. This is 2nd level. You call forth the nature spirit. The intangible spirit appears in a space that is a 5-foot cube you can see within range. So it's kind of like another totem in a way. Whenever you and a creature you can see moves into the spirit's space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, you can cause the spirit to restore 1d6. Yep. The spirit can't heal construct turn down. Yep. The spirit can heal a number of times equal to 1 plus your spirit mod. So you'd have 1d6 and then plus your level. And that's, yeah, that would stack a lot. I'm trying to think of what other Druid circle would compare to healing. I think Dreams, no, I don't think Dreams would. I don't think they have anything. Yeah, I can see why they'd be the best pick. Definitely want to stream some sessions and need to pick your brain on audio video. Not all my players have quality mics, but moving that way. Cheers. Yeah, definitely, Carp. The only thing I noticed, and maybe it was just my bounce, I'm not sure, is it was all in my one ear. I'm not sure how that happened. But otherwise, your mic seems great. Your setup seems good. Do you use Video Ninja? Yes. So Video Ninja, it sets up the browser sources very easily. And then just be on a Discord call. So Video Ninja for the video, and then Discord for voice. It's an easy combo, and it doesn't use too much resources, so it's easy to stream. Let's see, okay. So utility spells, there's the elemental ones, and sometimes what I like to do is just list all of them, like control, flames, shape, mold, earth, shape water, and gust. Let me put that in alphabetical. Is that a fair suggestion, or is that too much for a new player? If I were to say, yeah, you could pick one of these elemental spells. There's 4 of them. You could pick one of the elements, and then you can manipulate them however you might want to. Or would it be better to just say, yeah, pick Druidcraft, and then you can kind of be lenient with something they might want to do. Unless it's something offensive, like an attack. What would you suggest as a utility spell for a new time player Druid? Mending is also good. Oh yeah, guidance. Guidance is an easy one. I think I'm just going to leave guidance here. What I'm trying to decide is, should I leave the 4 element picks? You know what I should do? I should just remove resistance. If I want to keep a list of easy cantrip choices here, the top picks are probably Primal Savagery, one of the elemental spells, Druidcraft, or Guidance. Because Guidance, everyone loves Guidance, right? It's a free 1d4 bonus on top of any ability check. That's it. It's always there, and it's just a touch. So you can always give it to yourself. So that seems like an easy thing. I think I'm good to move on to first level. So first level spells. So first thing I'm thinking about is, I notice I already thought about this too, is action economy. How many reaction spells do druids even get? Let's see. Does it say, can I pick the casting time here? Yes. I think I'll just look through them. I wish you could filter out action. Put in bonus, reaction. I'll leave it like that. Let's see what we get here for level 1. Guidance and Thorn Whip, you won't believe how many times I use Thorn Whip as a swing or a climbing tool. That's a good point. You could use it for that too. Yeah, Thorn Whip, see, this is the problem with writing an article like this, is it's so contrived. So, do I want to, Would you suggest, would you replace one of these with Thorn Whip? Primal Savagery, Elements, Druid Crafter. Maybe Thorn Whip. Thunderclap also still good. I don't know. I might have to come back to it. But I love Thorn Whip. I think one of my players is loving Thorn Whip right now too. 5e tools. Is that the... I think I may have used that as the app. Let me see this. Oh, I haven't used this. This is new to me. Oh, this is cool. What? I have to take a minute to look at all these ads. Oh my god, I think I have my ad. I thought I had ad. Not that I have any pop-up ad blockers. I forgot to tell you, Credit Suisse dropped 50 cents per share today, so I swooped in and got a bunch. However, I'm concerned as to why the biggest bank in Switzerland just dropped like 10%. 10%. That's not too unusual, really. That's a bit of a hit, but they'll come back. Okay, so player can... Where do I pick classes? This is interesting. Okay, so Druid. Oh, this is... Okay, no, that's the actual... I see where I'm looking. So, references... What am I have to learn how this works. Filters. Oh, look at all these filters. Oh my god. Their bestiary is so bomb. The more tools I can get, the better. Okay, Druid. Ah, here we go. I see. And what about casting time? Casting time. Cast time. Bonus. Reaction. That's all I really need for this. Yeah, absorb elements. Oh wait, I can sort this. Healing word and absorb elements. Interesting. Also, does anyone use magic stone? I feel like I always want to use it, but I can't justify it. Maybe as an artificer? Yeah, I don't know. So, absorb elements and healing word. Those are both so good. I'm gonna put healing word. Yeah, okay, so for the defense part of level 1, I think we're set. Absorb elements and healing word are just amazing picks. Oh, I don't know, healing word or good berry? I'm gonna put detect magic. I had detect magic as a utility choice. I'll save. I'll come back to that. But for defensive spells, let me just put this down so it's a little easier to talk about. Defense. Absorb elements, healing word, and good berry. I only really want to have 3 here to make it really simple. I lied, it's bigger than that. It used to be at $22, and now it's at $7.05. Okay, never mind. That is a massive hit. Mim, the Swiss are broke. Oh no. However, will they recover? Oh boy. They'll be fine. I think Goodberry is so good. Healing word over all Goodberry depending on DM. Yeah. I bet I'm having a similar inner debate because I'm like, Goodberry is pretty much just 10 hit points. How much can you eat at once? And healing word is D4 plus your mod. And especially if you're a low level player, so it's only level 1 spell slot, you're not doing as much as Goodberry. And I feel like healing word is often used to recover an unconscious player from a distance, but so often you can use Goodberry to do that. But Healing Word, I don't know. Healing Word, I tend to really like Healing Word. It's a tough choice. I do feel like Absorb Elements is a really good pick. I think I'm going to put 4 spells here for first level, because these are just too good. Absorb Elements is very defensive, and having a healing option, I think, is a good pick. I think I'm a little more inclined to Healing Word, even though my heart's in Good Berry, because I just love the idea of having a pocket full of berries. Yeah, let me see. What are some other ways to compare them? Good Berry, you have to use an action, eat 1. I know that, so you can only, by the rules, really do 1 at a time. But when do you normally use these spells? To do so little healing. Is it usually in combat? And ultimately, this is for a brand new player. Good Berry probably gets my vote only because it's so thematic. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, I love the idea of carrying around a pocket full of good berries. Like, hey bro, you want some good berries? Healing Word, though, is also really fun because I have some people play into how what their words are saying. What they're saying is healing. It's like the opposite of Vicious Mockery. Is that Druid-like? This is a tough choice. I wish there was a... For a new player... A new player. Oh man, this is tough. If you're brand new to D&D, is it harder to track bonus actions or to track the number of berries you have? The good connect. Honestly, Entangle, it's a great escape tool. Entangle. Let's see, maybe there's another option here. Oh, I'm looking at casting spell times. Okay, hang on a sec. And I could go here. I'll sit here for the moment. I'll come back to 5e tools and get used to it. Entangle. Concentration. Oh yeah, the Grasping Vines. For the duration, these plants turn the ground in the area to difficult terrain. A creature in the area, when you cast a spell, must succeed strength saving throw. It's not bad. A creature is restrained by the plants and can use its action to make a strength check against your DC. On a success, it gets freed. How long does that last? A minute. That's basically taking a whole creature out of combat. That's like Crown of... What was it called? Crown of Madness? For Warlocks and whatnot? Wait, did Carp get a shout out? Oh yeah, he did. He was doing some Elden Ring. Carp's been so fantastic coming in here with all this great energy. This is why I love D&D community. And root of all beers being here. You guys are awesome. Entangle is a fantastic one. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's a good pick. I should really look at these again. So, okay. So for healing, let me think. Let me concentrate. There's so many good ones here. For healing, because so many people approach classes, especially when they're starting off, with concentrating on a type. You know, DPS tank or support. And I know if you're an experienced player with 5e and D&D in general, you're like, that doesn't really matter. But a lot of people do still lean in that a little bit as a way to start because they're not really sure what to do. And so usually they end up picking a healing spell anyway. I am a little inclined to say Healing Word because it's a way for them to learn bonus actions, and it is a fantastic way to... I'm comparing it to Good Berry, and Good Berry is good. Oh my god. It is a great spell, but I have nothing negative to say about it. I'm really just looking at how Healing Word... Okay. Old doggy just can't make the jump onto the chair. Just needs help every now and then. Ditto, been fun to meet y'all. Yeah, it's awesome. Love your energy. Druid is more of a utility support class as its core when being played correctly. Yeah, I agree. It really is a lot of support, so people do approach it like that, so it does make sense. I'm going to leave Healing Word in there. I'm going to take out Detect Magic. I don't think that's the best. The only reason I have Absorb Elements here for defense is because it's the only bonus action. Right? Is it? No, it's the only reaction. There's literally no other reaction spells for a Druid. Is that a good enough reason to put it on this list? for best Druid spells. If a Druid wants to have a reactionary spell, this is their only choice. Is it one I would suggest to a new player? I don't know if I would. My first PC was a Druid, and Entangle always made me feel badass. Yeah, and you know what? A lot of games have Druids using Entangle as well. It's very on theme. And I don't know that new players coming in are going to really understand the strategy of Absorb Elements. I think that takes some experience to use, right? Like, I know some of you are very experienced with RPGs and the strategy with it. And the idea of Absorb Elements is your reaction is to take the elemental attack, take half damage, and then you're going to put that on your next attack back. That requires a lot of thinking. That's kind of complex for a new player. Oh, I really like to suggest Entangle, because it's such a good attack spell, and it's just an overall good spell. It's crowd control, and it fits into the theme of support. I think I agree with you. Let's see, what other spells are here? Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds versus Healing Word. Cure Wounds simply does more healing, but I feel like Healing Word, because it's a bonus action, has more versatility in its action economy, because Druids just don't get a lot of that. That I think I'm going to leave this here for if a player was starting off. Oh, I don't know. It's tough. But then why not just go Goodberry? I'm going to leave Healing Word. Because then what they'll end up doing is they'll panic. And they'll say, I want to heal them. I'm like, well, you got that bonus action. Oh, okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, I cast the turn. My turn's over. Oh, it's a bonus action. You can do something else. I could do something else? Yeah, you can. You can cast one of your cantrips. I feel like that's a good moment. So you got to think about this as a DM, is give your players that moment of feeling badass and to heal someone and then make a cantrip attack at the same time. That's a good setup. And in this case, so far, that would be one of these elemental spells and Primal Savagery after Healing Word. I don't know, that's a good setup. I like that. And Entangle, let's see, Crowd Control, Animal Friendship, Beast Bond. No, Charm Person is good, but I think if a new player, if this spell is perfect for a new player, they'll naturally pick it. Create or Destroy Water. It's so situational, I don't think it'll come up. Detect Magic is this Detect Magic, I find, is very setting dependent, and on my games it does come up quite often, but I don't think I would recommend it in general, because there's so many games that are just more combat heavy, and also often the magic is made clear anyway by narration that you don't need it. No, you can't cast two spells on them on the same then unless it's twinned. Wait, which one am I thinking? Oh, no, I meant, so what they would do on their turn. So what I'm thinking is, if a player is rescuing someone, they'll do bonus action Healing Word, and then the regular action to do like a cantrip, like Control Flames. I mean something like that. So, Entangle is so good, and I like it more in Earth Tremor, which knocks them prone. It does damage. I don't know. Earth Tremor, I think Entangle beats Earth Tremor every time. Fairy Fire is also really good, but if you're using flanking rules, it's dead in the water right away. There's a lot of debate with that, I imagine, but I'm generally not going to suggest Fairy Fire to a new player. Entangle, I probably would. Fog Cloud, no. Jump, I don't think I would generally recommend that. Same with Long Strider, and same with Purify. Snare is fun, but I think a player who that's ideal for, they'll find that out. Same with Speed. Yeah, I think Entangle is a great pick. And what was the other one we had? Ice Knife for an attack. Level 1 attack. What's the best attack spell for Druids at level 1 that you would recommend to a new player? That's the key part that I have to remember, is it's a new player that's picking the spell. So, Absorb Elements technically is an attack, but I'm not going to put that there. That's a little too complicated. A little too... I do think it's the only reaction spell they get, but yeah. That's 2 spells. You can only cast 1 spell per turn. No, you could cast the bonus action and a cantrip. You can't do a bonus action and one of a higher level than a cantrip. Let's see. Where would that... oh boy. I feel like I know where that is in the handbook. I'm not sure where it would be here on here. Let's see. Let's find it. Because if that's... I mean, if I've been doing that wrong, then I got a lot of correction to do. Let's see. Okay, bonus action. Casting time, bonus action. A spell cast with a bonus action is especially swift. You make a bonus action on your turn to cast a spell, provided you haven't already taken a bonus action. Yeah. You can't cast another spell during you can't cast another spell during the same turn except for a cantrip, with a casting time of 1 action. Ice Knife is strong, yeah. So yeah, the cantrip is still good. They could still do that, but yeah, otherwise they wouldn't be able to do any other spells. So there is still, that's a decent limit, but yeah, they wouldn't be able to do other than that. Ice Knife I think is a really good pick, and for level 1, I don't know what would beat an attack. And the best part is, for a new player, they don't have to worry about the deck save. The DM will. They can mention it as the new player, be like, oh yeah, I do this, and they have to make a save, and you'll worry about that as a DM. Always enjoyed Speak with Animals, and very on brand, but kind of depends on your campaign and DM. Yeah, I agree. And I wouldn't normally have to recommend that. I find when a new player starting and they want to be able to talk with animals, they're just going to ask. So that is very on brand. Also, people tend to try it anyway. They'll just be like, can I just talk to the squirrel? I don't think anything's gonna beat Ice Knife for starting off level 1. Thunderwave is still really good too. Does Thunderwave beat it? I don't think so. Not for a first-time player. Thunderwave is really good, but I think you're not gonna, as a first-time player, gonna really worry about this unless you're thinking strategically and your positioning and whatnot. I think, generally speaking, I'm gonna leave Ice Knife. So I think these are my top 3. Ice Knife, Entangle, Healing Word. And it really hurts me to it not be Good Berry. I feel like Good Berry is so close to being there. Oh yeah, one of the best level 1 spells, Fairy Fire, no joke. Fairy Fire is amazing. And my only sadness with Fairy Fire is that if there's flanking, there's really no reason to do it. Because you can just, well, I shouldn't say that. It still can come up. But you might see what I mean. If you give advantage for flanking in your games, what I've experienced anyway is that people are less likely to cast Fairy Fire. I've had players say, well, I'm not going to have the spell anymore because all I have to do is, instead of cast Fairy Fire, just be on the other side of the target. And that's it. They don't have to make a save then, because I'm already there. That's its own problems because you're right up there in melee, but other than that, I think Fairy Fire is amazing because what is the range? 20-foot cube. If there's a mob of skeletons, that is a lot of advantage. And if they're, yeah, like what you're saying, Root of All Beers, if they're invisible, often I'll have the BBEG want to run away, and the best go-to spell is invisibility. And if the players have something like Fairy Fire there, I'm like, they got him. All they have left is a saving throw. And if they fail it, they're not invisible really anymore. They have that outline. Giving advantage on spells, ranged attacks is pretty... It's pretty Wait. Huge? Yeah. It is. And Fairy Fire is so good, especially you're right, from a range. I see what you're saying, yeah. Fairy Fire is so good. Does it beat out Entangle? For a first-time player, would you tell them Entangle or Fairy Fire? I'm thinking Entangle. I'm thinking generally I'm going to suggest Entangle. Although Fairy Fire is so good. This is the thing about writing articles, that this is meant to be so broad of choice, right? I do think a lot of druids in games have entanglement as part of their archetype of attacks. Oh, one of each category? Yeah, I'm trying to give that range of choices, you know, so that when players come to this article, they kind of see a variety of choices. Because not everyone's going to pick all attack spells. So, I think I'm good to go to level 2. Oh, maybe I should put a 4th one here. Is there a 4th spell? Oh, there's so many good ones, though. If I had to put a 4th one, it would be like Goodberry or Fairy Fire, like you guys are saying. There's another good one. Absorb Elements, I still think is really good. But I think I'm just going to leave it those 3. Because here's the thing with the article writing like this, is that, well, how many spells do druids pick when they start off? Let's see. Druid. Because I should probably have that many spells listed, right? Cantrips known. Where's the spells known? Spell casting. Preparing and casting. Okay. So, you prepare the list of druid spells that are available for you to cast, choosing from the druid spell list. When you do so, choose a number of druid spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus your druid level. So if this is level 1, I'd say this is usually 2, so 3. So it's still 3. I think 3 is still a good pick for an article, because you want to keep it a little simple. I'm trying to keep this simple too, because otherwise it gets very detailed. For example, let me show you best rogue spells 5e. If I look up best rogue spells, my article is right here on the 3rd shot, and what I have here is just a quick, concise breakdown per level. Oh, I put 4 for level 1? That's a lot of choices. That somewhat threw me as a humble noob. Oh, which one? Which one, Carp? And yeah, you're right. It depends on the mod. I'm trying to average it out to say 2, but so often people can manage to get that +3 mod, right? So it is possible to get 4 in here. Maybe I should throw in a 4th. But what would it be? What would it be? What do people normally pick for druids? Cure wounds? I'm gonna leave healing word there. Goodberry, I'm gonna leave out. I don't think absorb elements. I think it's a little too complicated. Fairy Fire kind of makes sense. I feel like I could theme it as a DM in my games, but I don't know in general people would. Most people start at level 3. That's a good point too, isn't it? Level 3. Yeah, you would have 4 slots. So you're gonna... Yeah, that is a very good point, Root of All Beers. I should have a 4th spell here. I just don't know what I'm gonna pick. Fairy Fire's good. It might be Fairy Fire. Thunderwave is so good. Oh man, this is tough. For a first-time player as a druid, when most classes get their subclass, yeah, no, you're right. I think you're totally right. And even when a first-time player plays level 1, getting to level 3 is pretty fast. What is it, 300 experience to get to level 2? And then from there, I don't remember how much it is. I use milestones now, so I forget the number, but it isn't much. Detect Magic is still pretty good utility. I don't think a lot of people associate Detect Magic with druids, though. This is tough. I think I might leave it at 3 to leave it open-ended. The process of preparing spells kind of threw me as a druid. Part of this very fun problem of picking spells segues How you doing, Creepy? What are you up to? Oh yes, I love this. What a clip!
Everything about it tastes like asshole. And I have no idea what asshole tastes like, but if it would have a taste, it would be
That would be
this
it. That would be
bourbon.
that.
This disgusting batch
Oh no, the bourbon. The asshole
sat
bourbon.
in the back of a truck
No.
for way too long.
What kind of bourbon
That's what
was
that
this?
tastes like.
Oh no. Guys, Creepy Real, he does a lot of variety games, namely story focused though. And he's a really intelligent man who likes to get into the analysis of character and things. Really fun presence. It was the worst whiskey I've ever had. What was it called? Pass Without a Trace, hands down. I agree. I'm just going to double check that it is. Yes. I'm not even going to hesitate. Pass Without a Trace. Totally agree. Root of all beers. So good. Bottom shelf cheap stuff. Oh my god. So what we're doing right now, actually, Creepy Real, this is my first time I'm sharing article writing for 5th edition, and we're looking at best Druid spells. And you can help me think about the kind of perspective I'm giving to the reader. What I'm doing is I'm listing out choices for new players to pick from. So if you just started playing for the first time, what kind of spells I would suggest for you to go to. And right now we're on Druid level 2. And Pass Without a Trace is easily one of the best level 2 spells in general, especially for utility. So when I think about attack and defense, oh, Wither and Bloom, I forgot Wither and Bloom was a Druid spell. And if you're not familiar with Wither and Bloom, this is a new one from Strixhaven. And in short, it takes life to heal. So, let's see. You invoke both death and life upon a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point within range. Each creature of your choice in that area must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 2d6 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. Non-magical vegetation in that area withers. So this is just sapping the life from an area, and then you move it because, in addition, one creature of your choice in the area can spend and roll one of its unspent hit dice and regain a number of hit points equal to that, plus your spellcasting ability modifier. This is a great healing and damage spell at the same time. Glad you made it out of that glass, friend. Bark Skin was helpful for me early levels, as well as Heat Metal. Heat Metal I love. I'm listening. Hopefully I can help. Spike Growth as a level 4th, level 2 slot. Wait. Where's Spike Growth? Where's Spike Growth? Is that level 4? Spike Growth. I thought that was level 2. Level 2. Yeah, Spike Growth, level 2. That's such a good area of effect, too. Just barely. My favorite bourbon, it's been a while. I think often I just resort to... well, it's Canadian Club. But I don't know how far out Canadian Club goes. But it's so good, so smooth. And if you guys don't have Canadian Club in your area, let me know. And we can talk, maybe. Heat Metal is so fun. I love this. Okay, so attack spell. Think, level 1 player starting off. You probably want a easy attack spell, right? Not level 1. What level is this player going to be at when they're picking this spell? They'll be at level 3. This is still first time player, potentially. And level 2 attack spell. Okay. Animal Messenger, no. Bark Skin, Beast Sense, Dark Vision, Dust Devil. I don't recall this one. Witch Bolt, yeah, Witch Bolt is a good... Wait, that's... Witch Bolt is not... Druid? No, Witch Bolt is not Druid. Although that is a good spell. Magic Initiate, and then get it. Have you ever had Black Velvet? No. Cheap but surprisingly flavorful and smooth. It's a CA blend. I haven't. Maybe we can trade. Massive cosine of Spike Growth, 300-foot range. Oh my god. Oh, cops. So what's Dust Devil? I don't recall this. Bludgeoning damage, concentration for a minute, 60-foot range. Choose an unoccupied 5-foot cube of air that you can see. An elemental force that resembles a dust devil appears in the cube and lasts for a spell's duration, so you summon Tasmanian Devil. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the dust devil must make a strength save. Okay. On a fail, it takes 1d8 bludgeoning damage and is pushed 10 feet away. On a success, the creature takes half and isn't pushed. I don't know. As a bonus action, you can move... Oh, so you can move at 30 feet around. I can feel Root of Valbeers being like, dude, this doesn't compare to Spike Growth. And I agree. It's still good. Because you're basically using this as a control point. And if you're of the mind to think junctions and choke points, then Dust Devil you want. But Spike Growth, I think, is generally going to be better, especially for new players. Earthbind. What is Earthbind? 1 minute concentration. Choose one creature you can see. Yellow strips of magical energy loop around the creature. The target must make a strength save or its flying speed is reduced to 0. Oh, this is like Dragon Rend. This is Dragon Rend. Fun to hang them in. Always a pleasure. Link that article when you're done. Okay, Carp, I will. Actually, Carp, let me know if you're on Twitter, and I'll follow you there. That would be great to connect on there. Enhance ability, I'll save that for later, but this is we're thinking attack spells. I think Flaming Sphere is pretty much the same as Dust Devil. Yeah, it is. It's pretty much the same. So I'm gonna categorize it the same. Same with Gust of Wind. Flame Blade, 10 minutes. It's really good. Bonus action. You evoke a fiery blade. The blade is similar in size and shape to a scimitar and lasts for 10 minutes. If you let go of it, it disappears, but you can bring it back. Okay, that's great. If I were a first timer here, I wouldn't want to control minions. Dust Devil management. Yeah, that's a good point, Creepy Rill. You want something kind of easy and straightforward, right? Like, if you're brand new, you don't want to worry about all the extra rules. You want to start off a little easy, right? So I think Flame Blade is really just, I summon a Fire Blade. And it can do 3d6 fire damage. That's pretty good, I think, for a first-time player. I'm going to save that. I'll write that down, because I think that's a pretty good pick for a first-time player. Yeah, almost point and click, essentially. Yeah, exactly. And if you're a first-time player, too, I'd be like, go with these spells, and then as we play, you can change them and to whatever else you might want to pick. This is where you bend the rules to make players a little more comfortable with the game and their character, right? So Flaming Sphere, I'm going to keep Flame Blade in mind as an attack spell and compare them to what else we got here. Flaming Sphere, I think it's the same thing, same with Gust of Wind. Healing Spears for healing, I'll save that for later. Heat Metal is a fantastic utility spell, I'll save that for later too, because I'm thinking a utility and defense spell, unless there really isn't any. We'll come back to that. Let's see here. Hold Person. So Hold Person is really just paralyzing someone. For utility, do think this is a good spell, but not as good as Pass Without a Trace. Plus, we have Entangle at level 1, which already does a really good job of something like that anyway. Lesser Restoration is not bad. If you're going healing, you'll just find that, I think. Same with Locate animals and objects. Moonbeam is a little more situational. I would not recommend... I don't even want to describe this to a first-time player, so I'm going to ignore Moonbeam. Protection from Poison. This is kind of funny. I forgot this spell existed. I'm ignoring that. Skyrite. Skyrite's it's dramatic, but I'm not going to recommend that to a first-time player. Not unless they really are into the theme of skywriting or an air-themed character. Spike Growth, I think, is really good for crowd control. Do you have any self-heals yet? No, that's going to be the next one I do, which actually I'll do in a moment, because I'm thinking Flame Blade works well. So I have Attack, Flame Blade, Utility, Pass Without a Trace, super easy. Now what about a healing spell? Wither and Bloom is this new spell that it saps the energy from somewhere. You did. KP. Oh my god. You shocked me, KP. Thank you for the sub. Scared the crap out of me. How you doing, KP? It's just talking a roundabout way of talking about traveling, and I understand you might be going on vacation or traveling at some point. Is that true? Let me know. Thank you so much for the sub, man. Thank you so much. He cast a spell on you, and now I'm yours. So, to anyone, so if you're just joining, I'm writing a best Druid spells. This is meant to be for first-time players. And let me know, like Creepy Real, I know you're not too familiar with the system, so let me know if this sounds complicated. This spell, it does damage, and the theme is that it does damage by taking away life from a target, and then giving that as healing to another target. Is that maybe a little too complicated for starting off? Just remember that Druid has access to all of the spells. It's just that they prepare for the day. You're just recommending what should be as some go-to spells for the day today. That's a good point. That's a good point, Root of All Beers, because often we feel committed to these spells and then we can never change them. But you're right, like, you could always tell the player, like, you know, you can just, the day after, just change your spell. It's that easy. Doesn't sound complicated, but does sound pretty OP. It is a very good spell. Not at all. It's like a life leech, but not leech to the player. Yeah, I'm gonna write Wither and Bloom for now and compare to the others, because I think Wither and Bloom is so good to be able to do 2d6 necrotic damage. It does require con save, which is still, if you're not familiar with the game, that is a pretty good con save to rely on. Not a lot of creatures are heavy into that. I think that's a good one. It's not dex. And being able to heal another player is amazing. So what other ones can heal? We also got Healing Spirit. I thought there was another one. Maybe that was it. Okay, so Healing Spirit. And there are lower level spells that heal that we could just cast at a higher level, but you may not want that. Let's see. So Healing Spirit. Concentration for 1 minute. So you have this happening for 1 minute where you call forth a nature spirit to soothe the wounded. The intangible spirit appears in a space that is 5 foot, that is in a 5 foot cube you can see within range. The spirit looks like a transparent beast or fae, your choice. So you summon a little creature next to you. Until the spell ends, whenever you or a creature you can see moves into the spirit's space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, you can cause the spirit to restore 1d6 hit points. The spirit can't heal constructs or undead. The spirit can heal a number of times equal to 1 plus your spellcasting mod. And as a bonus action, you can move. There is a little lot going on here, but I think it's a good spell, but I think Wither and Bloom might be easier. Hi, sorry I'm late for the stream. Where are we at? I am at... Hey, Latte, thanks for coming in. Let me know if I can do a shout out for you. I'm doing best Druid spells, and this is meant to be for first-time players, and we're at level 2, picking the healing spell, and I think we're good on Wither and Bloom. Yeah, Creepy Real. So your gut says that's a tricky one. That's what I thought too. I think Wither and Bloom is actually a little easier to think about. Con saves are great versus low CR, but after CR 8, it's kind of not worth it because they start to get really beefy. That's true. Wither and Bloom saved my ass. It did. Wither and Bloom is it's like the rare healing spell, especially other classes like wizards. Being a druid, they do have a lot of options, but if you're at level 2 and you want a healing spell, I'm probably going to recommend you pick Wither and Bloom. So from there on, I'm at level 3. This is where it starts getting interesting. I see that there's only one spell from here on out that I was pretty certain of at level 4, Guardian of Nature, which is really good. But we'll get there next. Level 3 Druids. At what point are they? So that's level 5. This is powerful stuff. What is the best level 3 Druid spell? Just generally speaking, what is it? Let's see, okay. Call lightning, conjure animals, daylight, dispel magic, erupting earth, Feign Death, Flame Arrows. So far, Call Lightning is really good. Flame Arrows, not bad. I feel like that's more... Is this a Ranger one as well? Yes, this is more Ranger focus, I think. Freedom of the Waves? I don't remember what this is. This sounds so druidic, doesn't it? I just need the freedom of the waves. I don't even remember this. This is Critical Role content. Revivify. Is this here? Where is it? Where is it? Do druids not get Revivify? What? I thought druids got it as well. They get True Resurrection, but not Revivify. Oh my God. This is blowing my mind. Just flow with the freedom of these waves and catch these vibes. Yes. Freedom of the winds. Druid surfer dude, bro. The waves, man. You conjure a deluge of seawater in a 15-foot radius. 10-foot tall cylinder centered on a point within range. This water takes the form of a tidal wave, a whirlpool, a water spout, or another form of your choice. Each creature in the area must succeed a strength save or take 2d8 bludgeoning damage and fall prone. I would not recommend that to a new player, although I love the name of it. It's there. Yeah, I thought it was. Am I filtering something out? Am I blind? Revivify. What? Hang on. Hang on. I'm just going to pull up the spells, all of them. Because I thought that was a druid spell as well. That's pretty good though. Prone enemy is good enemy. This is true. And they're drowning in it. It's like you're rendering them prone and then they're drowning in the water. It's showing that it's not... I thought this was... Oh, it's an optional rule. What? Is this under... Hang on. Maybe it's part of a subclass. Ah, additional druid spells. This is what you're saying. I see. Okay. Then in this case, I would definitely recommend Revivify. How come D&D Beyond doesn't put it there? Is it because... Huh. I wonder why they add it here in this list and not in this spell list. That's pretty gnarly. Any water form of your choice? A tsunami has to be an insta-kill. Yeah, you drown them in it. I mean, 2d6 damage is a lot. Commoners have 4 hit points. Insta-kill is pretty rare. Yeah, power word kill. Roulette 20. Did it just die? You'll be back in a minute. I can't believe you instantly got it. I'm going to put Revivify. And I'll put an asterisk in it to be optional. Although I think most people agree that this is a great addition. First of all, if you're level 3 and you have access to Revivify, you're probably going to want that. As long as you can get some diamonds and whatnot in your game. So other than that, best level 3 spell. Let's see, where were we? Freedom of the Waves, Meld into the Stone. It has not come up enough. Plant Growth is cool, but I would generally not recommend that. Protection from Energy. It's pretty much Absorb Elements. I think I would go to instead. Sleet Storm. You have those Dust Devil and other control spells. I'm dead. KP's back. Speak with Plants. I don't know if I would consider this the best 3rd level spell, but it is really fun, just like Speak with Animals. Summon Fae. I'm a really big fan of Summon Fae. But if you're a first-time player, it's a little complicated to look at a stat block. Summon woodland creatures as offense. Yeah, what level is that? Summon woodland. Is that another optional one? Oh, Conjure. Oh, it's at 4th. That's also really good. I'm gonna write that down for coming up to 4th level. Conjure woodland creatures, because I know everyone when they play a druid, they want to be able to summon so many things like that. They're like, I just want I just want Dryad friends or Sea Hag friends. What an interesting example for a woodland being. But Summon Fae. Is that a good recommendation for 5th level? Tents have taught lines that stake in the ground if you're running past tents you're gonna trip into last week. Tents have taught lines that stake in the ground if you're running past tents you're... My god. Rio? What the heck? 100. Thank you for the sub, Rio. Is this the famous one?
Okay.
No.
This is your recent one, isn't it?
Oh my god.
See how excited Rio
Oh
gets
my God.
playing these games?
Oh my god.
I love
Oh my
it.
god. Oh my fucking Christ. Oh my fucking Christ.
Oh my god. Rio's energy is, I love it so much. I don't even really typically get into sports games, but I just love Rio's presence for it. Canaldo. Did I say it right? Canaldo? Oh my god, KP! Oh my Christ. Holy crap, KP. Thank you. Oh my god. I forgot I put up a sub goal thing. Oh no. Well, you destroyed that. Let's just blow up their sub goal. Yeah, it's dead now. You killed it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, KP, thank you so much. Guys, KP is one of those people who's always in the... It's always there. And I love their presence. You know what my favorite memory of KP is? Playing Minecraft with KP. He's the type of guy who runs by skipping and singing and having a good time. And it's so wholesome. And I heckin' love KP. Your energy, man. Thank you so much. Look at that Carp, who's just joined in for the first time, getting a sub right off the bat. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. KP, do you play D&D? I feel like you would love it. You must have with Ryonia, right? I jump skip everywhere, in the game and in real life. Oh man. So what have I picked for level 3? Root of all beers is like, dude, we were into the spells. What's going on? Thank you so much, KP. I play on Fridays and Sundays sometimes. What? So you have a regular game? Oh, okay, that's awesome. What do you play as? I'm so curious what you would pick. So level 3, Revivify, I think, is an easy option. The other ones, I feel like Call Lightning is another very common one. You know, if you're a new player... Yeah, Root of all beers, we're on the same page. Call Lightning for offense, Revivify for healing, and Water Breathing for utility. Okay, I'm gonna come back. Are my lights flickering? I think where my gut was on the same place. Call Lightning is such a good spot for attack at level 3. Sounds like Priya. Yes, Priya. Priya is this druid in our campaign who's just arrived, and he arrived in the middle of a storm, summoning lightning. And I feel like a lot of people who play druids want to be able to call lightning, so it feels natural to have it in there. It's a good spell. It lasts a while. Its attack is great. And is it... I can't remember if it's... I actually can't remember if it's a save or an attack. It's a dex save. So, dex and wisdom are like the most common saves, but 3d10 lightning, and it lasts 10 minutes. I think it's still really good. And you were recommending... Summon Fae is a little complicated, but Water Breathing. Especially for a druid, because... Let me think about this. Especially for someone starting off, I think that's a good point. Water Breathing? I'm thinking comparing Water Breathing to Enhance Ability. Where is it? Where is it? Is that level 2? Enhance ability is level 2, isn't it? Oh, never mind. Okay. No streaming. On Fridays, we play different streams. We play a different system called Stars Without Numbers. That's a fantastic system, yeah. It's actually a really fun version of D&D that has a lot of world building and depth to do all sorts of nonsense. Yeah, Stars Without Numbers is great. There's another kind of space-themed one. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, Stars Without Numbers, that's a fantastic one. Still curious, what kind of character do you play then? Zoe has COVID, so has to work from home this week, so I can't. Thursdays are still doing D&D podcast, though. Yes. Yeah, if you guys aren't following Altruistic Latte, on Thursday we're going to do talks on D&D stuff. So it isn't just me prattling about article writing. We'll do a live talk that we turn to audio format. And we bring on various guests of various kinds and have topics all over the place. It's a great time. I'm currently playing a psychic in that Friday game. A psychic? There's just... I want to know more. What's their name? What's their tragic backstory? Oh my god, is he okay? Who? Oh, Zoe. Yeah. Zoe gets lucky to have those mild symptoms. So, back to this. I think I agree with Root of All Beers that water breathing is a little easier of a recommendation to new players, new druids, than Summon Fae. Summon Fae, I think, is really good. But if, like, Creepy Real, if he was joining, because he was a good judgment on this too, I think he would probably agree that to be able to know that you can just breathe in water, you're going to use that. And plus, what level does Wild Shape allow you to swim? Because that makes a big difference to that choice too. No flying or swimming. Oh, you get that at level 4. So let me know what you think of this, Root of All Beers. You're recommending water breathing, but at level 4, druids can wild shape into like a fish. And then they would breathe underwater. Is that really enough to debate it, though? I don't know. I don't know what I would pick in place of a utility spell anyway. Dispel Magic? Maybe? I might pick Dispel Magic if not water breathing. Oh yes, it's very mild. Yeah, Zoe. I'm a Bio Scion, and I'm also doubling in Meta Psionics so I can stop other psychic powers. What? For your party to use not... Oh, you can cast... Hang on, does water breathing affect multiple? 10? And easy. Water breathing. This is why Root of All Beers is here. I'm going to make a note. Note 10 allies. So I'm going to write the descriptions later on. That is... You're right. That is a fantastic call. How often do you find yourself underwater in this particular story? In general, I think water breathing actually comes up enough that people will consider it. There's usually some lakes nearby or flooding, or I think it comes up enough. In our games, it's not. It has. Water has come up a lot. I have this thing with bringing up water a lot in my games, so I can see why. I'm gonna close my door. 1 sec. Or we'll go underwater a lot more now that she knows how quiet it is down there. Yeah, like Latte is playing an air genasi, and they can breathe underwater, but if you didn't have an ability like that, water breathing for yourself and your allies, that's a fantastic utility choice. And it's super easy. So like Creepy Real, wondering like how, first of all, he's thinking about the frequency. It isn't even a challenge of what the spell does. It's just, how often am I going to really use it? Flooded Dungeons, Pirate Adventure, yeah. Alright, so 3rd level I think we got down. Call Lightning, Revivify, Water Breathing. Great picks. Level 4, I think we already got it. So by this point, what level are players when they're casting at level 4? They are level 7. So now we can kind of pick whatever. At this point, what's the best choice? Water Plane? Let's see. Is this a spell? I don't remember Water Plane. I think you're just mentioning a plane of water, right? Well played. Frees up that a lot for another ability. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if your race doesn't have water breathing ability, or if it does have it, then yeah, you're just freeing it up. So there's a lot of conjuring at level 4. Dominate Beast is kind of like that too. So we have conjure minor elementals, conjure woodland beings, which is, I think this is what a lot of people tend to want when they play a druid, when they want to summon things. They're like, I want to summon a bunch of sprites. Well, you're going to summon 8 of them. And that's fantastic for that. Control water is a little weak. Dominate Beast is still really good. I don't know if it's the best. I was taken in by the Psionic Academy as a youngling, and then they found that I was a candidate for a program, kind of like Captain America, but for psionics. I was part of a group of enhanced psychics who went to collect a psionic artifact, and it threw off a tremendous force of psionic energy. It vaporized my best mate in the crew, and it was also kind of our fault, so I'm guilty. I feel guilty AF. Oh no, Space Samurai. KP. What's your character's name? I love the Captain America kind of turned psychic bit. And you have your own Bucky. Guardian Nature is really good. Yeah, it was easy for me to just say Guardian of Nature. Level 4, easy pick. It's what goes along with it. BRB bud? Okay, thanks Creepy Real. So, if you don't know Guardian of Nature, at level 4, this lasts for a minute. It's a bonus action to cast this. A nature spirit answers your call and transforms you into a powerful guardian. And you can just pick whatever you want to look like, right? And then you get all these abilities until the spell ends. You pick one of 2 forms, beast or tree. If you're a beast, you get a bonus to your walking speed, increased dark vision, strength-based attack rolls with advantage. Your melee weapon attack deals an extra 1d6 force damage. If you pick the tree, you look like a tree, you gain more hit points. Your con saves are made with advantage, so your concentration checks that you have, because this is a concentration spell, they're with advantage. That's amazing. You make dexterity wisdom-based attack rolls with advantage. That's also amazing. While you're on the ground within 15 feet of you is difficult terrain. Like, these are amazing choices. I'm terrible with names, but it is Jed Raksha. Jed? That is amazing. I love Jed. Let me know if I'm saying that right too. Jed Raksha. It sounds like, I don't know why I'm thinking of the guy from StarCraft in the Terrans. And offense, Ice Storm. Ice Storm. Yeah, I hear that. See that right below here. Ice Storm. 300 feet range? That is far. A hail of rock-hard ice pounds to the ground. 20-foot radius. Huge cylinder. Each creature must make dex save or take 2d8 bludgeoning and 4d6 cold damage. Yeah, that is really strong. The only other one I might contest is Polymorph. Which are both characters from RuneScape. Jed is a drunk sailor man, and Raksha is a dragonkin boss who had been infused with shadow energy. You said it. Jed Raksha from RuneScape. I like how you do that. What's something I like to do when I'm making characters, take the themes of 2 things I really like. So, like, if I have my favorite storytellers, Hannah Harvey and, say, Matthew Mercer, I might combine them to come up with Hannah Mercer or Hercer, and then I have my new character name that's based off the theme of storytelling or something like that. So I like that you took 2 things you really like and made a character of that. I'm wondering if that's what you had in mind. What do you think, Root of All Beers, of Polymorph versus... Oh no, Polymorph is a little more defensive, isn't it? You were thinking offense. I'm iffy with Polymorph because of DM's discretion rules. Yeah, I see what you mean by that, and it's not even an offensive spell. It does take them out of the battle, but it doesn't deal damage, right? Yeah, I don't know. What about... Okay, I'm going to take Polymorph out then. What about Ice Storm versus Summon? Doggy keeps coming open the door. My very first online game was two things in front of me when I made it. Battery wall? That's amazing. It sounds like a Microsoft generated name too. Summon Elemental. What do you think of Summon Elemental versus Ice Storm? It's not an area of an effect. Nah. I'm not even gonna compare. Summons are great, but Ice Storm is just so good. It's just so much damage in one shot. It's not concentration. No, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping Ice Storm there. I think that's gonna be the pick. What did I put here? Conjure Woodland. I think I'm gonna keep three spells here. Ice Storm, because it's just so good. Good pick, Root of All Beers. So 5th level. I don't think we need to worry about picking too many spells here either. What animals can you transform into that you continue to have casting ability? At 18th level, you can cast through your wild shape. So if you look here at the Druid table, at 18th level, you get beast spells, and it's at this level that you can cast. As, oh wow, I can't talk. At 18th level, you can cast many of your Druid spells in any shape you assume using wild shape. You can perform the somatic and verbal components of a Druid spell while in beast shape, but you aren't able to provide material components. I am finally home! Lunar, how was it? Glad you're finally home and okay. Too low of a stat block compared to monsters of its level. Agreed. So, 5th level. Here, we're almost there. 5th level Druid spells. And then I think when I'm done this, I'm gonna look at some homebrew stuff because I'm so stoked to just look at some low-level homebrew stuff. This will probably get easy. What is the best 5th level spell? And not for new players anymore. A new player is not gonna be playing this high. This is just what are the top picks at 5th level. Let me see, where's the bottom here? Okay, I'm gonna start bottom up. Wrath of Nature. I'm just gonna title off the names first. Wrath of Nature, Wall of Stone, Tree Stride. That's a fun one because you're teleporting between trees. Mask Cure Wounds and Hero's Feast. Oh my god, Root of All Beers. Not sure offense. Root of All Beers is right on it. I think you're so right. Summon Draconic Spirit. Is that what this is? Yeah. Summons are good, but I don't know if I would say they're the best. Scrying is so good utility too. Mask Cure Wounds. What were you saying? Ah, the Hero's Feast. Yeah, Hero's Feast versus Scrying for utility. I think Hero's Feast is generally going to be liked more. Where is it? Wait. What? I thought that was here too. 6th level. Hero's Feast is 6th level. So I'm going to write that there. Hero's Feast, because that will definitely come up. But for 5th level, I think Scrying is a good pick. Because at that point, it's like, it's spying. It might as well just be called spying. So if you're not sure what Scrying is, it's really you just pick a target, and then you just see what they're doing. and it's just rolling for how accurate it is based off of how well you know them. That's it. Like, that's amazing. I think that's a great 5th level spell. I might put that in. Mask Cure Wounds, though, is so good. I'm going to put that in. That's got to be in here. Mask Cure Wounds. I'll put Scrying for now, but I have a feeling it might get knocked out. Let's see what else we got here. Reincarnate. Oh my god. No, that... You touch a dead humanoid or a piece of dead human. What? Provided that the creature has been dead no longer than 10 days, the spell forms a new adult body for it and then calls the soul to enter that body. It's not bad, but I'm betting you're going to use Mask Cure Wounds more often. Planar Binding. It's also not bad, but I don't think I'm going to say it's the best. Maelstrom is really good. Insect Plague is really good attacking. Gaius is really good. Or Gaius. Greater Restoration is also so good. That's a healing category. Yeah, these are all great healing spells. What about offense? Let's see, offense. Freedom of the winds, control winds, contagion. Is this offense? No, contagion is more... Contagion is like giving a status effect, which is good. Oh, I forgot about contagion. Hang on a second. Look at this. For 7 days, you touch a creature and inflict it with a disease. First of all, it's poisoned. And then it must make a Constitution saving throw. If it succeeds on 3 of the saves of the poisoning, then it's no longer poisoned and the spell ends. If it fails, it's no longer poisoned, but choose one of the diseases to afflict it with, such as blinding sickness, which could potentially make it blind. A filth fever, giving it disadvantage on strength checks and saving throws. Flesh rot, giving disadvantage on charisma checks, and vulnerability to all damage. Oh my god. So if you don't know, that means double damage from everything. Mind fire, which gives him a fever and disadvantage on intelligence checks and saving throws. And they are constantly under the confusion spell. That's also amazing. You could just make them have seizures. Oh my god. Disadvantage. This is a crazy spell. I forgot about this spell. Slimy Doom. The creature begins to bleed uncontrollably. The creature has disadvantage on cons checks and saving throws. In addition, whenever the creature takes damage, it is stunned until the next one. What? This is amazing. I love this for utility. Maelstrom might be best offense. This spell is hella dark, right? Maelstrom. I'm going to go back to Maelstrom. I trust Root of All Beer's judgment on attacks. Let's see. So, if I'm thinking just for offense, for doing damage, 120 foot range for a cat lasts for 1 minute. That's really good. A swirling mass of 5 foot deep water appears in a 30 foot radius. Oh my god, 30 foot radius centered on a point of your choice. That's 60 feet diameter. The point must be on the ground or in a body of water. Until the spell ends, that area is difficult terrain, and any creature that starts its turn there must succeed a strength save or take 66 bludgeoning damage and be pulled 10 feet toward the center. Oh my god. Maelstrom is really good, and I'm looking at Insect Plague right above it and thinking it's probably better than that too. Yeah, con save, or they take 40-10. That is a lot of damage, but I don't think it's as big. And this is, well, that's piercing. That's comparable. And 10 minutes. Battles don't usually last more than a minute. I think I agree. For offense, Maelstrom is still really good. Does anything beat that for offense? I'm ignoring summoning. I love summoning. But for strictly offense, I don't think I'm going to pick that. Anti-life shell, awaken, commune with nature, conjure. Yeah. I think Maelstrom wins. Maelstrom. And then Mass Cure Wounds for healing. And then for utility. Oh man, this is going to come down to Contagion versus Scrying. Which would you rather have the ability? To spy on anyone or to inflict someone with a disease? The best thing about Maelstrom is locks enemies in the area. Insect Plague doesn't. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's a huge it's a huge diameter. And when you still have actions to do like Thorn Whip, as I know Root of All Beers would do, you're going to keep them there and you're going to stack damage real quick. Because this is basically an additional 66 on top of whatever else you're doing. And especially if it's Vine Whip, you can just cantrip them and just keep them in there. So yeah, that's a very good one. Gaius is also really good. This is basically a Jedi, like a 30-day Jedi mind trick. I don't know if that one is going to be as useful as Scrying and Contagion. What's the range on the disease? Good question. Creepy real. The range is touch. So you do have to get up to someone and touch them. And then it lasts 7 days. And it has horrible effects. I really feel like scrying is probably going to be more useful. I think of players I have like Ultra Scolate in chat right now. And I know that they are probably going to be more likely to use an ability to spy on the big bad, for example, to learn about them, than they are going to have fun with using Contagion. Contagion's still really good, because I can see Wickedly Lunar getting really into character and using Contagion to afflict someone. I think scrying is going to be better for the wide variety of players. I think I agree, KP, so I'm going to leave those 3. I think these are good 3 picks. Alright, 6th level. We're almost there. Hero's Feast, amazing for 6th level spell. I don't even have to look to know more. Let's just reread this. Instantaneous, how long does it? It doesn't even have a duration. You bring forth a great feast, including magnificent food and drink. The feast takes 1 hour to consume and disappears at the end of that time, and the beneficial effects don't set in until this hour is over. Up to 12 creatures can partake of this feast. A creature can partake of the feast gains several benefits. The creature is cured of all diseases and poison. Probably not usually going to come up, but that's good. Becomes immune to poison. That's really good. And being frightened. That's really good, because a lot of things try and frighten you. Makes all wisdom saving throws with advantage. Amazing. So many things have that. That right there is really amazing. And its hit point maximum is increased by 2d10. And it gains same number of hit points. Yeah. As an easy good one. Intel can be interesting, but as a newbie, I'm not sure how useful it can be. True. If you were starting at that high level, yeah. That you're thinking Contagion versus Scrying. You're still saying I can see you using Scrying to spy on people though. I think they're very good comparable picks. I would use both. Scrying would be my preference, but if I want to go full chaotic, Contagion wins. Yeah, Lunar would pick Contagion. I know it. Space Samurai Dam. Oh yeah, what are you saying? Are you saying the Hero's Feast? I think Sunbeam was the go-to offense in this spell level. Sunbeam. Oh, the investitures. I gotta come back to that, but those are so good. Sunbeam lasts 1 minute. A beam of brilliant light flashes out from under your hands in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot line. Each creature in the line must make a con save. That's a good save to have. On a failed save, they take 68 radiant damage and are blinded. 68 was good enough, but blinding them? They're basically useless their next turn. They're just gonna... So that means they do attacks with disadvantage. They automatically fail any ability checks that require sight and attacks of disadvantage. Yeah. That is really good. Alright. So think of that. And I'm a big fan... I'm curious what everyone who thinks of these spells. I'm a big fan of the investiture spells. So these are 4 elemental spells that kind of transform you into one of the elements and have various ongoing effects. So say you pick Flame. For 10 minutes, flames race across your body, shedding bright light in 30-foot radius. The flames don't harm you, of course. You are immune to fire and resistant to cold. Any creature that moves within 5 feet of you for the first time has to take 1d10 fire damage. There isn't even a save. You can use your action to create a line of fire 15 foot long and 5 feet wide, extending from you in a direction of your choice. Each creature in that line must make a dex save or take 48 fire damage, or half if they succeed. Now, the thing with that is it lasts 10 minutes. So this is ongoing. If I compare it to Sunbeam, Sunbeam still lasts a minute. Oh my god, this is tough. And it's blinding. Yeah, it's basically Human Torch, right, KP? And see, the other ones have something similar, like one with ice, one with stone, one with wind. Oh, that's a hard pick. Let me see, what else is in this level? Okay. Bones of the Earth. What is this? I don't think I've looked at this. You cause up to 6 pillars of stone to burst from places on the ground that you can see within range. Each pillar is a cylinder that has a diameter of 5 feet and a height of up to 30 feet. So you're summoning pillars from the ground, and the ground where a pillar appears must be wide enough for its diameter. Okay. And you can target the ground under a creature that is medium or smaller. Each pillar has an AC of 5 and 30 hit points. They can be destroyed, right? Each 5-foot pillar. Okay, so I'm liking this. They do deal 66 bludgeoning and can restrain, which is pretty cool. I think I'd sooner still go with one of the others. Yeah, I didn't think of those because a new player wouldn't get additional books right away, which is why I just keep it to Player's Handbook and Xanathar. That's a very good point. Imagine in a dungeon and slamming people into the ceiling. Yeah, right, KP? This is also... That's a good point. Investitures of Elemental Evil, and Bones of the Earth is also Elemental Evil. I do love that. I don't think I would say it's a better pick than the others, but I love that a lot. Heal. Heal gives immediately 70 hit points. I think Hero's Feast is still better as an overall pick because of all the additional benefits. Heal is a massive amount of healing. So that's just a normal time here at the stream here, where we just like to scream. It's been a while since doing that. Who redeemed that lunar? And then I scare away all the new people. Nah, it's fun. We like to scream every now and then. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to buy it. Yeah, fair enough. So where were we? That's just... Nothing unusual happened, right? Keeps our true emotions in check. Root of all beers is like, what have I gotten myself into? Hero's Feast. You guys, I'm so happy. It's been a year since I've done that. So thank you for coming in and redeeming it. I think I agree that Sunbeam is a pretty good pick. Investitures, I love the idea of turning into an element. But if you're inclined to pick one of these spells, you're probably already going to go there. Sunbeam, I think, is an easy, basic rules available spell. Literally the best redemption. Oh, thank you so much. No, I was screaming along with you, and in Starbucks, it's like, I need my latte! Oh my god. You bring good energy. Thank you for entertaining that. Alright, 7th level. I'm only going to do, I think, 2. Just what are the 2 best spells? I don't even know if I'm going to say offense, defense, utility. Because now there's not too many spells to pick from. At 7th level, we have 2, 4, 6, 7 spells. Draconic Transformation, Firestorm, Mirage Arcane. Oh my god, that's so good. Plane Shift, Regenerate, that comes up a lot. Reverse Gravity, I love this. I don't know if I would say it's the best. Whirlwind, I missed the book Redemption. That was always good too. Oh yeah, do you think I should add that back? I took some away because I wasn't sure how popular they were. I could add that back if you think that's a good one. So what if anyone doesn't know, what I would do is I'd say pick 2 random numbers, and I'll pick a book from my shelves back here and just talk about it for a moment. So okay, I'll add that back after. So what do you think are the best level 4 spells? I am not sure I remember Draconic Transformation, but the idea of turning into a dragon for a minute. With a roar, you draw on the magic of dragons to transform yourself, taking on draconic features. You gain blind sight. within 30 feet. That's amazing. Within that range, you can effectively see anything that isn't behind total cover. I didn't know that. That's amazing. And you also read FMA? I haven't yet, but I have it right next to me. I will get through it quick. Concentration thought? Wait, what? What am I concentrating on? KPs. A breath weapon when you can't... Oh, it is concentration though. Yeah, you're right. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that is at level 7. That's why I'm not including reverse gravity. It is a classic. Full Metal Alchemist is so good. If you're not familiar with it, go give it a shot, especially if you love D&D and magic. It's such a good anime. Tell me if you agree. Watch the first arc of the original Full Metal and then move to Brotherhood. I still think the original has a lot of good stuff in it. I didn't watch it all the way through until I finished Brotherhood, but I really think the beginning of the original was so good. Anyways, side tangent. Symbol if you do optional roll. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about the optionals. So, symbol. Let's see here. 7th level, and it lasts until dispelled or triggered. So this is just a permanent effect. Oh my god, that alone is so good. You never really lose it. Oh, this is a long one too. So it's a ward. When you cast a spell, you inscribe a harmful glyph. So you put a glyph on the floor, and it will require an intelligence check when it's triggered. And you decide when you cast a spell what kind of trigger it is. You can further refine the trigger so the spell is activated only under certain circumstances. When you inscribe it, you choose one of the options for it to do. Death. just death. Book of Symbols. Bomb. See, exactly. Like, con save or 10d10 necrotic damage. Here's the thing. Here's what you can do. If you have a keep, just come up with a trap room and do symbol. Next day, symbol. Next day, symbol. Just have a hallway of symbols. Discord. Each target... Oh yeah, it has a range in a 10-foot... Oh my god. Make a con save, and if it fails, the target bickers and argues with other creatures for 1 minute. During this time, it is incapable of meaningful communication, has a disadvantage on attack rolls, and it summons... This should be called Twitter, not Discord. Anyways. Fear. Or Reddit. It should be Reddit. Even better. Fear. Make a wisdom save or become frightened. I feel like at that level, this one is not the one I would pick. But that is an awesome choice. Hopelessness. Charisma save. Or be overwhelmed with despair for 1 minute. During this time, it can't attack or target any creatures with harmful abilities, spells, or magical effects. That's really good. Or Facebook. I feel like Facebook is also just the place for ads now. Putting symbols in a book and telling people that it holds great knowledge and leads to treasure, then give it to the big bad so he reads and sets off. Here, Bob the evil mage, I got you a book. Have a read through. Just skim the pages for a moment. Alright, I will. I'm feeling stunned, sleepy, in pain, insane, hopeless. I'm feeling scared, discordant, and dying. That is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna save that in my back pocket. Okay, Draconic Transformation is fun, but I don't think it's the best one. Whirlwind, I know this is a really good area of an effect whirlwind ability, but I'm probably more likely to just pick one of the lower level ones and just cast it with a higher level. This is good, but I don't think I would use it. Regenerate. The ability to heal this much, 48 plus 15, and regain severed limbs. This is where I remember what Root of Olbeers was saying before, that you would just change your spells on your long rest to have this. So I don't think I would pick this. If the target's severed body members are restored after 2 minutes. If you have a severed body and hold it to the stump, the spell instantaneously causes the limb to knit to the stump. I'm trying to see if it has a duration. If the target's severed body members, if any, are restored after 2 minutes. Oh, so it does require 2 minutes right after. So you wouldn't really be able to prepare it. Huh. That does change it a bit for healing abilities. I don't know. I don't know if I... Plane shift, that's basically teleporting between planes. Mirage Arcane, this is making a huge area to look like whatever you want to look like. And it lasts 10 days. It heals over an hour as well. Is it over an hour? For the duration, the target regains 1 hit point at the start of each of its turns. That is really good. How many spells do I have picked here? Oh, well, 2. Okay, easy. Symbol. Regenerate. I think that's a good pick. Right. Yeah, I think that's an easy pick. I'm going to put that under optional. I'll make sure to note that. Mirage Arcane is basically a mini Westview. That's actually, yeah, 100% accurate. So, and I dare not clarify if anyone doesn't know what that means. I was going to say regen is not good. Oh, you don't think it's good? I think for healing, though, I'm thinking in terms of overall utility. I don't know. Mirage Arcane sounds good utility. Yeah, because, okay, if you're at this level, what would you use instead to heal? You would probably go to Mass Cure Wounds, for one, or you would cast one of the lower level spells like Cure Wounds at a higher level. You guys are making me think to go Mirage Arcane. You bet I'm going to use that in the campaign at some point. Regenerate is not a go-to spell. It's more as needed. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so my gut was that at first. So you saying that makes me think that that is indeed the case. Heal is my favorite, which is 6th level, I believe. Heal is really good, too. The only reason I put Hero's Feast above it is just because of an overall pick. If you wanted a healing spell, if you were a healer druid, you know you'd be picking the 2 of these, right? Yeah, okay. So you guys... Mirage Arcane. You convinced me. Mirage Arcane. Although I think Regenerate is good, Who is this? Little rockin' emo. Thank you so much. I didn't know you played... Wait, this was Liquidly Lunar. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, I don't know if I've seen this. Clementine.
This is so cute.
Is this spoilers? Thank you, Latte, for the lurk. Thank you so much. Walking Dead was so good. I love when people replay it because that's such a good story. And yeah, spoilers. Can you do Lunar, if you're there, can you do a shout out for a little rockin' emo? Thank you so much. It's nice to see you coming by. How's your morning starting off? I haven't looked at your document yet to review. I'll probably have to do that in the morning, so let me know when it's due.
I'm gonna do a shippy and I'm gonna say nobody clip this. Whilst
You love it when a clip starts like that.
Crawl over there and show my butt and plug my laptop charger in. Uno memento, please.
Get clipped. Yep, that's exactly what happens. Firestorm and symbol for me. Firestorm, you think?
There we go.
Okay. I'm really loving Root of All Beer's picks, so I'm gonna go to Firestorm levels. It's not concentration. That's a huge, huge boost. A storm made up of sheets of roaring flame appears in a location you choose within range. The area of the storm consists of up to 10-foot cubes, which you can arrange as you wish. Each cube must have at least one face adjacent to the face of another. Each creature in the area must make a dex save or take 7d10 fire damage. Holy crap. What do you think you're more likely to use? Firestorm or Mirage Arcana. Because at this point in the article, I'm basically picking 2 spells. What are the top picks? I like both. They're both so good, right? Symbol does well. Oh, this is hard. I think I'm going to leave on Mirage Arcane. Firestorm is really good, but if I'm doing damage, I might do a higher level Sunbeam. Oh, wait. It doesn't have any... Really? Sunbeam doesn't get any bonuses for higher level? Yeah, Now I'm not sure. Nah, I think Mirage Arcane is a really good pick for Druids, because I got a feeling if you wanted to deal damage, but Sunbeam doesn't. Look up Symbol's stunning section. Yeah, Symbol for doing damage like that is so good. Stunning. Each target must make a Wisdom save and becomes. Wait. Oh yeah, okay. So they have to make a Wisdom save or become stunned, which is incredible. All the stuff that Symbol does is so good, and the fact that it is permanent until dispelled or triggered is what really makes it. So yeah, easy picks. So I'm gonna go to level 8. This is gonna get easier and easier because there's not so many spells here. I say easier and easier, I'm struggling. Animal shapes, I don't know about this. Your magic turns others into beasts. Is seeming a choice? No, it's not. Choose any number of willing creatures that you can see within range. You transform each target into the form of a large or smaller beast with a challenge rating of 4 or lower. That's not bad. On subsequent turns, you can use your action to transform affected creatures into new forms. Tsunami? Okay, I'll get to that. That's probably good too. The transformation lasts for the duration for each target, or until the target drops to 0. Okay, so this is basically giving wild shape to allies. That's pretty decent. It lasts for 24 hours. And on subsequent turns, they can turn into new forms. That's... I don't know. I forgot about this. And that's in basic rules? Okay, I'm going to remember that. That's pretty good. Okay, I forgot about Foresight. Foresight is amazing. Oh, that's a level 9. But that is really good. Control weather. You take control of the weather within 5 miles. You must be outdoors. Moving to a place where you don't have a clear path to the sky ends the spell. When you cast a spell, you can change the current weather pattern. It takes 1d4 times 10 minutes for the new conditions to take effect. The thing with control weather is it's really amazing. It doesn't really do anything mechanically, but it's just so cool to affect the weather. I don't know if I would say it's one of the best spells, but it is amazing. Antipathy and sympathy. This is basically making someone scared or frightened, or making someone sympathetic. I think these are really good too. I don't know if I would say it's the best pick here. Weather is so fun to play around. I agree, Lunar. It's going to come down to comparing these to others. I think for straight up damage though, Tsunami. Like, this is insane. 6 rounds. It takes 1 minute to cast this, but this is the spell you cast when you want to destroy someone's castle, not a single target. A wall of water springs into existence at a point you choose. You can make the wall up to 300 feet long, 300 feet high, and 50 feet thick. Man, to be honest, you don't need a recommendation for level 9. It's just situation. It's so true. I could probably just remove level 9 from the article, in all honesty. When the wall appears, each creature within its area must make a strength save. On a failed save, the creature takes 60-10 bludgeoning damage. That's actually not as much as Firestorm, which I think was 70-10. Yeah, 70-10. But at the start of each of your turns, after the wall appears, the wall, along with any creatures in it, move 50 feet away. Any huge or smaller creatures inside the wall, or whose space the wall enters when it moves, must succeed a strength saving throw or take 5d10 bludgeoning damage. So it just keeps going and going. A creature can take this damage only once per round. At the end of the turn, the wall's height is reduced by 50 feet. Okay. So it does slowly come down. And the damage along with it by 1d10. A creature caught in the wall can move by swimming. Because of the force of the wave, though, the creature must make a strength save against your DC, or it can't move. Tsunami is amazing for damage. I feel like the only one I compare to that is Sunburst. Alright, gotta dip, lovely. Have a great stream and chat soon. Hey, Little Rock Nemo, thank you so much for coming by, dropping a sub and support. Again, let me know about the due date of that article. I think you said, on my way to catch up with my friend who is over for interstate and haven't seen in about 2 years because of COVID. Exciting, that's all the good. It's not due till Friday. Right, okay, good. I'll talk to you later then. Have a good time. Okay, so Sunburst. How does this compare to Tsunami? It is 100 feet. It's one action, as opposed to a minute of casting time. Brilliant sunlight flashes in a 60-foot radius. That's a massive diameter. On a point you choose. Each creature in that light must make a con save. On a failed save, they take 12d6 radiant damage and are blinded for a minute. On a success, it takes half as much. Okay. Oh, that's... I was remembering earlier that Sunbeam doesn't improve with higher slots, so that is a pretty good pick. Does it beat Tsunami? The thing is, Tsunami you use on an entire army. 300 feet. Sunburst is still 120 feet diameter. Oh, this is tough. Tsunami will do more in the long run. I think it's still going to be Tsunami. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tsunami. What? Oh, I forgot to pick. What were the optional rules for this level? Incendiary Cloud. For 1 minute, a swirling cloud of smoke shot through with white hot embers appears in a 20-foot radius centered on a point. The cloud spreads around corners, and people have to make a dex save or take 10d8 fire damage. Okay, that's a lot of damage. It's a smaller range, though. I still think Tsunami's better. That is still really good if you want to do concentrated damage. Okay, Feeble Mind, situational. It's a really good spell. It's psychic damage, which is rare. I think I'm just going to leave it at Tsunami. I think I'm just going to put the one spell. Yep. Level 9. All of these are so good. How can I pick one? So if you don't know, these are 4 spells. True Resurrection. You're resurrecting someone who's been dead up to 200 years. That's the best True Resurrection spell in the game. Storm of Vengeance. It is a concentration spell, so I don't know if I'd pick it. It lasts a minute, and you summon a storm with a radius of 360 feet that make creatures have to do a con save or take 2d6 thunder damage and be deaf for 5 minutes. And then each round after that, it produces different effects, like Acid Rain, doing 1d6 damage, or more bolts of lightning, doing 10d6 damage, or Hailstones, doing 2d6 bludgeoning damage, and then gusts and freezing rain assailing the area. I mean, if you want to summon a storm, that is the amazing amount of damage you're going to do right there. So that's your damage. Shape Change is a perfect shape change ability. This turns you into, like, what, anything including inanimate objects? Is that what this one is? You assume the form of a different creature for the duration. I like to do Tsunami in a hallway that way and shoot the enemies out the area. Yeah, like, Tsunami destroys. It's so good just to expunge people. Foresight, though. I think Foresight wins it. For 8 hours, you can see a bit into the future, and you have advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. And creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. That is amazing. And here's the thing. You can grant this on another creature. If you're at this level and you have a rogue in your party, you're going to make them incredibly strong. I think I'm putting Foresight. Easy. Oops, if I can... Yeah. I think that's it. Best Druid spells. Cantrips. Primal Savagery. These were tough picks, though. Control one of the elements. Druidcraft Guidance. First level. Ice Knife, Entangle, Healing Word. I really liked Entangle there. That was a really good pick. Second level. Flame Blade. Pass Without a Trace. Wither and Bloom. Third level. Call Lightning. Classic. Revivify. Water Breathing. Fourth level. Ice Storm. Guardian of Nature. This one's so good. Conjure Woodland Creatures. So fun. Okay, cool. Now, fixed spacing, though. Yeah. I know, I'm sorry. This is my rough notes. Fifth level, Maelstrom, Mass Cure Wounds, and Scrying. All amazing picks. Sixth level, Hero's Feast and Sunbeam. Yup, this screams. Marisha Ray's Season 1 character. Oh no, what's their name? How am I forgetting? How am I forgetting their name? Someone's screaming at me. Keyleth. This is screaming Keyleth. 7th level, Mirage Arcane and Symbol. 8th level, Tsunami. I've never seen it, so it's all good. Okay, thank you, KP. And then 9th level, Foresight. I think these are all perfect picks. Alright. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me, picking out some best Druid spells, looking at Counterspell, and writing articles with me. I wasn't sure how this would go. I was thinking of looking at some homebrew stuff, just to kill a little bit of time. This is really funny stuff. It can be hilarious to see what people come up with, and I was kind of thinking of looking quickly at some homebrew spells, and namely the lowest level ones. Okay, what do you think? Do you want to take a look at this? Do you want to see some, just a quick peek at what this can be? So I'm looking at homebrew spells. Let's take a look at the lowest rated ones. Well, I want your opinion on the DM tool I'm crafting. Oh yeah, let me know what it is. Root of all beers, please. If you have to link it, just link it to Lunar or me, and I'll open it up. That's awesome. I was about to like raid off, but if you got a tool, yeah, I'd be so curious to see. Make sure you follow, by the way, so we keep connected. So lowest rated, this isn't Druid. This is just all spells. We're on theme. Let me pick Druid. Druid. Filter. D&D Beyond homebrew stuff. Okay. Rating. This is gonna go to highest level. It's a little slow. Twitch Whisper. Was it to me? Was it to me? As I'm on here. 1 second. Gotcha. A general sword. Oh, this is looking cool. Okay, I'll come to that. I'll come right back to that. It's a work in progress and refresh to see how it works. Actually, I'll take a look at it now. So what do we got here? A general store. Hold on a sec. Guys, Root of all beers here in chat. If this is what I think it is, you've come up with a spreadsheet that will randomly generate inventory for a general store to have. Is that what this is? D12. It is! You have random... Oh my gosh. So, I loaded into this, so watch. If I hit refresh... Is it the same numbers? Yeah, see, it changes up every time you come in here. The stock, what is WV and R? What is WV and R? I'm trying to see if I can intuitively understand what you're conveying. Oh, well visited. Oh, I see. So if this is a well visited general store, then it's gonna have a high amount. If it's remote, probably not. So you have two different themes of your store here. And if I come to this general store, like I say, hey Lunar, you're traveling along the Sword Coast and you stop by this general store. Let me just load up the general store inventory. And Lunar, oh, you want to buy some chicken? Yeah, they have 11 chickens. They don't really have chains though to, you know, chain the chickens to, but they got 11 chickens. This is awesome. And I gotta show you something. Because, hang on. One theme, it's farm. Yeah, I love that. Okay, you're gonna love this. I'm gonna show you something I made. I don't know if I can make this publicly accessible yet, because I don't know how well it'll translate to. This might be a lot. Alright, check this out. Because I didn't know you could do something like that. Look at this spreadsheet. Okay, I'll look at that in just a second. I'll come right back to it, because this is a spreadsheet I was coming up for an economy, which is crazy and probably looks like too much. I like how clean this is. And you were saying to look at the spreadsheet tab. The blank tab here? I may not be able to see what you mean. Farm type? Which one do you mean? But while you clarify which tab you mean, the economy tab I have here, what I have here is sections where you would have your ship, say for example, or your wagon, and you would put in these beige spots how much of an item you have. So if you have like 2 kilograms of wheat, then you carry that on board. Oh, that's not a lot actually. But let's not use wheat. Let's use artisanal goods. So let's say I have 2 kilograms of artisanal goods. That's 71 silver pieces. And then what I can do is go to a town. So if I'm at this purchase calculator, I'll pick the location I'm at. Say I'm at Luskin, and the resource I'm looking at. So I'm looking at artisanal goods. So let me find artisanal. And I have kilograms. I want to sell 2 of them. They're going to give me 483 silver. That's a lot. I'm going to make a fishing, hunting, mining, and city general store as well. What? Yeah, please do that. Can you... Oh, man. I want to ask you to join the Discord and share it in the D&D thing so I can remember. I want to see how you develop this. I'm loving this. I never thought to use random numbers like this and to come up with an inventory. This is so good, Root of All Beers. I love this. Because all you have to do is refresh. What is the function for that drop-down box? I was trying to do that the other day and couldn't remember how. Oh, right. Okay. So KP. The drop-down. So if you want to drop down in here, you go to Data and go Data Validation. And then you pick a list range. So what I'm actually doing here is this drop-down is referencing just my list of just wherever you want to write it. You can have a reference tab. Like I have a reference tab here, and I just have a list of the towns. Just bookmark it. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you. That's a good idea. Bookmark. Done. I will check in with your updates on that. All right. So let me take a look at the lowest rated homebrew druid spells. Root of All Gods. I love that. I want to know if you're gonna add like purchasing to it, or if you're just gonna do that on the character sheets. Okay, here's the lowest rated spell. Acid Weaver Spit. You spit an acidic substance out of your mouth, coming from your inner weaver. Huh? Dex 12? What? Damage 1d4 plus 4? If Dex save throw success, target takes half damage. This does not please the Weaver. Make a Constitution saving throw higher than 2. If failed, the Weaver will leave your body. Oh, you know what? I don't really understand this first part too well, but I actually really like the idea that if you roll a 1, I mean, they might as well just say if you roll 1, then something giving you the spell leaves your body. It's really mostly just confusing. I have a shirt that says I only with the Excel logo. Oh, wait. For Apple? Wait, I don't know if I get that. Oh no, my Excel creds. This is not a bad... I don't know why this is rated so low. It's really just a little poorly worded, but this concept here is interesting. No, because this is going to be a DM's tool. I'll let the DMs determine their prices. Ah, okay. That makes perfect sense then. So really it's a perfect way to get a sense of inventory. So, yeah, this works great as is. What else would I add to this, if anything? Just skip that song. The only thing... Oh, you know what you could add is kind of like in Skyrim, how general stores only have a certain amount of gold available. You could roll like how much gold they have on them. I don't know. That's pretty easy to add, probably. And gives a kind of limit to how much they could trade. And maybe magic items? I don't know how I would do magic items in this. This is pretty good, because every now and then I'll just have people looking for random markets and merchants. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm liking this, just as is. So it's back here. Ad Hark Druid Hail. 2nd level. Lasts an hour. This spell is best used by in Mortuary, okay, to enhance their abilities. Well, I guess no one can use it. Why is it best? What they choose to summon and or enhance is usually up to the caster. Usually? But it only lasts about as long as the user can concentrate, or until the player rolls a 1 or 2. On what? It can also be broken if the horn... What horn? And can't be used until the next... There's a lot here that is not clarified. A speck of dust grinded from animal's bone. Magic items could be done true. I would do that, but currency is dependent on world building. Oh, true. I guess you... Yeah. I guess you could do it for yours. Like, add that. I would say add at least... yeah, I see what you're saying, because immediately I'm thinking how much of each gold, then, or coin. Is it silver? Is it copper? Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. I guess you could say if they're remote or not. Oh, yeah, that's still just TM discretion. Yeah, you're right. I see what you mean. Abundant currency is completely different on scarce currency. Yeah. Table of prefixes and table of suffixes parsed. Oh, for I only? Oh, wait, no, you're thinking for magic items. Ah, that is... I see what you're saying. So it'd be like a wondrous wand of... And then you would have a random thing for the other thing. That's what you're thinking, KP, right? So you'd have, like, the tome of... As a prefix. So you'd have a whole table of things like that. And then your suffixes being, like, random things. I think I see what you're doing. That's genius. Actually, I love that. Apotheosis, level 9. Oh, this is going to be good. Oh, no. Until dispelled or triggered. Spell restrictions. You must be level 20 with at least 10 million experience. What? As well as 18 intelligence and 20 wisdom. The verses to this ritual take hours. Casting time 8 hours. Yeah, okay. And because it costs so much and only works if recited perfectly, you must spend 1d4 months memorizing them. But I got level 9. Where's the component for this? A ceremonial vial filled to the brim with blood of a god. The vial worth at least 1,000,000 gold pieces. Wondrous would be prefix, or a fire would be suffix. Yeah, so you would need the table as well. That, KP, that's an amazing idea. I'm going to steal that from you unless you make it. You begin a ritual to transform yourself into a god. After the sacred ritual is complete, your symbol begins to emit a holy light. Then you drink the blood of that god and make a DC 15 wisdom check. It's not going to be a problem. On a failure, your symbol engulfs you, killing you both. Not even the strongest magic can revive you. Okay. On a success, the entire world shakes, and you become a god. Work with your DM to determine what you are the god of. Godly benefits. All of your stats increase by half their original value. So if it was 12, it is now 18. Why not just say 30? You can cast spells of level 4 under your previous class could cast as cantrips. All of your spells higher than that are cast as if they were using a spell slot 2 levels higher. That's insane. What if you're level 9? A modified version of Wish is available to your use once per day. It has restrictions, albeit higher than normal, but no monkey's paw. For example, if you wish... Oh my god, okay. You get a sturdy and powerful castle in the astral plane. Holy or unholy soldiers defend it. You have a homebrew item? Oh, what is it? Let's see. I'm looking at the silly ones, but... Let's take a look at your item, and then I think I'm going to find someone to raid. If any mods are available to help me find someone to raid. Ooh. Yeah, Root of All Beers. So these are homebrew items. Homebrew magic items. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even realize Matthew Mercer had some items in here, but I guess that makes a lot of sense. Incense, forgot proper spelling of resilience. Do we want to do Drunk Drawer or someone new? If it's the only person I've rated recently have been Jeef. So let me know. I'll trust your judgment. Let me know what you think. Resilience. Incense. Let's see. Oh, I haven't rated Cheeky. Okay, let's see. I'll take a look after in a moment, otherwise. Incense, I'll just search incense. I want to see beer of... Root of All Beers thing. Incense of Resilience. Is this you? Astri? There's two here. I don't know if this is you. If it is, I'll upvote it. He's playing Skyrim. Oh, what a perfect pick. Okay. Is this the same thing here? Oh, it's the same thing listed twice. This one's viewed more. Wondrous item. Requires attunement. The player can select up to 8 targets and grant them... Oh, why is the formatting weird here? I'm not sure if this is intentional. I might not know. Oh, this is you. Okay, attunement makes sense. Target 8 players. It's a wondrous item. And grant them 5+ player level of temporary hit points. I only might rearrange that a little bit, but that makes sense. That's pretty level. That's balanced. For every long rest, the player can select up to 8 targets and grant them 15+ player level temporary hit points. Yeah, I like that. I think I might reword this, but otherwise, I like the abilities. This belongs to a forgotten Druid circle. Druids? That was destroyed long ago. It was used to defend one of the gates of the fire. I sense some world building here. This was from a campaign of yours, wasn't it? One last try, as it's pronounced. Incense of Resilience? Which one do you mean to pronounce? Oh, let's see. It's just listed here again. Yeah, oh, you changed it down here to be a little more... This one seems pretty well balanced up at the top here. I like it. How do you use it? For every short rest. Oh, it's during short rest. So you're lighting incense when you're resting and healing up, right? I think that's great. And then during a long rest, you're burning it and giving them extra... Yeah. Sir Catilius, sorry I had to go to Mars for... What? But I'm back now and I have t-shirts for everybody. You went to Mars? What'd you go to Mars for? I love this. I'm going to give you... am I logged in? Yeah. Up? Why can't I vote up? There we go. I gave you the vote. I'll give you on both. Alright. Oh, you're saying to pronounce the name. Oh, Lastri? One last... Oh, one last... Oh my god. One last try. You got me. Oh my gosh, that took me too long to realize. One last try. So, thanks for hanging out with me and talking some D&D, helping me write some articles. Thanks to everyone lurking and being here to give support, and new people for coming by. Thanks you all for the subs. KP, my goodness, you've been so generous. And everyone else giving the subs and coming around to offer support. I've been away from streaming for a year, and I missed everybody. I missed what it's like here to meet new cool people like Root of All Beers. Be sure as I'm going out to leave a follow so we can match up again and continue talks. I will try out different things like Minecraft or Subnautica, but I'm having a lot of fun just doing D&D writing too. I'll still do this on occasion. I do I will be doing talks on Thursday on Altruistic Latte's channel. We'll talk various D&D things, so be sure to check us out there too. Thank you so much for the follow. I was really hoping I didn't miss you, because you're great company. Cheeky. So Cheeky, this is a great member of the community. Join me in a raid with Cheeky. We'll go over. He's playing Skyrim. He's a great VTuber. Very generous person. Thanks everybody for coming by again. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.